staring again. Makes me feel all warm inside. This mask, it smiles for me when I'm busy. Don't worry, I'll be quick. Probably.
By Hayden Hansen. Chapter 1. The Son of the Grim Origins by Hayden Hansen. Chapter 1. The Son of the Grim Reaper. Origins by Hayden Hansen. Chapter 1. The Son of the Grim Reaper. Klaus Reaper woke up from a deep sleep. "Where's the blood milk, Mum?" he yawned. "We're all out of blood milk," she said. "Oh, man!" cried Klaus in anguish. "I hear the school bus outside. Go, son, or you'll be late," said Mrs. Reaper. Klaus opened the front door and saw the bus drive straight past his house, hearing local bully Andrew Rolling yelling out, "Ha ha, Reaper, you missed the bus on the first day of high school." Helen Wales was sitting behind Andrew Rolling. "Hey, Andrew, hey, you're going to hell someday," she said as she loaded up her fist and gave him a dead arm. "Damn it, I'm late," Klaus exclaimed in frustration. "It's okay, I'll just take Dad's death bike and ride it to school," he thought to himself. Careful not to let his mom know of his sneaky plan. The bike was a shiny deep black with a real human skull showcasing at the front. Its mouth was gaping open and closing the front light. Klaus walked over and started up the bike with a thunderous roar, and the idol afterwards continued to shake the neighborhood. He revved up the bike a few times. "Woo! I like this," he said with a sneaky grin. He let the throttle loose and skidded up the road. "Class, get back here now," his mother yelled at top of her voice, fuming at him only to be drowned out by the blasting sounds of the death bike. At Darkville High, Maya Whitemore is eagerly welcoming all arrivals to the school, handing them flyers with her name for, the head of the student council. Billy, a freshman, scared of this new experience, said, "Thank you for welcoming me to Darkville High, Miss Whitemore. Here's your welcome pack. It will give you some information about what you need to get by at school," said Maya. "Thank you, Miss Whitemore," said Billy. "You're welcome, Billy," she said. Klaus walked up to Maya awkwardly. His heart began to race, and he could feel it thumping. "Please, excuse me. I will be with you in a minute," said Maya. "Take your time," said Klaus. "Welcome to Darkville High School, Mr. Reaper. There's no need to be so formal. You can call me Klaus," he said. "Finally at I'm school, and here I go." Klaus was eager to know this girl's name. "Who are you?" he said. "I'm Miss Maya Whitemore," she said with a confident smile. "Nice to meet you, Maya," Klaus replied with a coy smile. "Nice to meet you to Klaus," she said. "Klaus!" An exited girl exclaimed from behind Klaus. "I missed you!" "How was your summer break?" said Helen from the bus. "Not good," said Klaus, shaking his head with grief. "Why," said Helen. Klaus paused and took a deep breath, and he welled up. "My father passed away last month. I'm still coming to terms with it," said Klaus. "I'm very, very sorry, Klaus, for your father's death. I know how much he meant to you," replied Helen. Maya handed Helen and Klaus their school books. "I'm sorry too," she said. The school bell rang, and everyone began to rush to class. "Come on, Klaus, we will be late for class," said Helen. "I'm coming, Helen." "Will I see you around the school, Maya?" said Klaus hopefully. "Yes, you will see me around school, and I'm always in the science lab every lunch break and free periods that I have," said Maya. I might see you in the science lab. One lunch break, said Klaus. How about first break today? Said Maya. Sure, why not? Said Klaus. I'll see you then, said Maya. Klaus hurried to class, excited at the prospect of getting to know Maya better. What a great start to his first day at Darkville High. Come on and hurry up, said Helen with a hint of jealousy. Klaus hurried to catch up to Helen before class. As Klaus entered the classroom and prepared to take a seat, he had to quickly duck left to avoid a well-placed spitball, but it unfortunately splatters on Helen's face. I'm going to get you, Andrew, she said angrily, ready to punch his lights out. Now that's enough. Settle down, everybody, bellowed Mrs. Blake Long. Hello, class, and welcome back from your summer break. I hope you had a relaxing time off. We have a new addition to our class today. Everyone, please welcome Klaus Reaper, said Mrs. Blake Long. There was an uncomfortable silence. A snigger from Andrew, still pleased with his spitball efforts, and Helen finally claps awkwardly. She quickly stops realizing she's the only one. Thanks, I think, said Klaus under his breath. Now everyone take out your history books, said Mrs. Long. It's out already on my desk now, said Klaus, trying to create some attempt at humor to get popular with his classmates. Miss Wales, a sister of the superhero called Blue Sun, said Mrs. Long. Helen looked up both amazed and confused at the same time. You know my brother as Blue Sun. For how long have you known this? She carefully questioned. For 3 years now, she replied. Oh, okay then, said Helen. A sharp, percussive pattern of a knock, knock was heard at the door, and it opened without a pause. Miss Whitemore, what are you doing in here? Said Mrs. Long, not happy with the disruption. To get Klaus for my science club, said Maya. Mr. Reaper, you're allowed to go with Mrs. Whitemore. I'm head of science and I trust Maya. She's one of our brightest prospects, said Mrs. Long. Thanks, Mrs. Long, said Klaus. He's happy to see Maya again. They leave the classroom and walk down an empty hall lined with school lockers. How was your first class of high school? Said Maya. It was all right. Why am I in your sciences club? Said Klaus. Because I saw science in your eyes when we met outside, said Maya. Oh, I'm lucky to meet you, Maya, said Klaus. Thanks, you are so sweet, said Maya, which caused Klaus to glow an embarrassing shade of red. After a left turn at the end of the hall, they stopped outside a large room with a red door. We're here at the home of the science club, said Maya. Wow, this place is huge, said Klaus, thrilled with the facility. I know, it's the best, said Maya proudly. Suddenly, Klaus hears a familiar voice. Klaus, it's you. Who just called my name? Said Klaus, still trying to figure out who it was in the back of the room. It's Dylan Jones. Don't you recognize my voice? Said Dylan. Ah, Dylan! It's been 3 years. I'm so glad to see you here, said Klaus. Me too. I signed up for this club because I love science, said Dylan. I had no idea that you were into science too. It rocks, replied Klaus. How have you been, Klaus? Said Dylan. Good, and you? Replied Klaus. Great, replied Dylan with a smile on his face, excitedly awaiting to explore what new adventures he would have with his old best friend. Klaus and Dylan, I hate to break up this reunion, but it's time to start Science Club. Welcome, everybody, said Maya. Maya, said Klaus, interrupting her as she was about to take charge of the meeting. What do we do in science club? We do science stuff. What did you think we did here, Art? Said Maya. Cool, said Dylan. Yes, cool, all right, said Klaus. We get to meet here every free period if we want. Count me in, said both Klaus and Dylan. Great, said Maya. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the room. We should get back to class. Okay, bye, Maya, said both of the boys. Klaus and Dylan headed back down the hall to their first class when they ran into Helen. Hey, Klaus, where have you been? I've been looking for you for the last 15 minutes, she said. At the science club with Maya, said Klaus. Oh, by the way, I'm Dylan, Klaus's old best friend, added Dylan, eager to be part of the conversation. Ah, so you're the Dylan that Klaus mentioned. I've seen you around school, but I didn't realize you were the same guy. Nice to meet you, she smiled. Where did you two first meet? She inquired. At preschool, said Dylan with fond memories of that time. Cool, said Helen. It's totally awesome that I have a friend who is the son of the Grim Reaper, said Dylan. No way! Klaus is the son of the Grim Reaper! I didn't know that, said Helen, surprised at the new information. Yeah, he told me when he was in year 5, replied Dylan. Wow, that was 3 years ago. Yeah, I know, Helen, said Dylan. That must have been a massive shock. How did you react after he told you? Said Helen. I was pretty shaken up and didn't talk to him for 2 weeks. I didn't want anything evil to happen, replied Dylan. Yeah, I can see how that could have been a shock, said Helen. We caught up later and had a conversation for nearly 3 hours and became best friends, said Dylan. Klaus, we were just talking about you, said Helen. What about me? Said Klaus. I now know. You are the son of the Grim Reaper, said Helen proudly. Dylan, why would you tell Helen who my father was? Replied Klaus, somewhat angry at why Dylan would share his secret. Helen is a close friend. She should know you are the son of the Grim Reaper. Klaus, said Dylan. Helen, please don't tell anybody, okay? Keep it a secret, said Klaus. I promise I won't tell. It's just between us, said Helen. Good, said Klaus, happy that his secret is now safe with his 2 best friends. Hey, Klaus, I think Maya has a crush on you. She was blushing and giving you the eye, said Dylan teasingly. The bell rings and everyone jumps out of their chairs to make their way to the cafeteria. A confident guy surrounded by an entourage of loyal followers makes his presence known. He enters the cafeteria. What the hell is he doing here? Muttered Klaus. Who's that? Inquired Dylan. Harry Knight, the only rich kid in Darkville, said Klaus. Harry made his way over to their table, leering over the top of Klaus. Hey, Klaus, said Harry. Mr. Knight, sheepishly said Dylan. Just call me Harry. What's your name? Said Harry. I'm Dylan Jones. Klaus is my best friend, replied Dylan. Nice to meet you, Klaus's best friend, smiled Harry confidently. Harry's eyes crossed the table. Who do we have here? Asked Harry. Helen Wales, she said. Ah, you're Devon's youngest sister, aren't you? Said Harry. Yep, he's my big bro. Nice to meet you, Harry, replied Helen. And you too, said Harry. By the way, where is Devon these days? Said Harry. He went to London to help his friends stop Dorothy's game, replied Helen. Oh, okay then. It was nice to meet Klaus's friends, said Harry. Bye, Harry, replied both Helen and Dylan. Bye, Pooh Knight, said Klaus. That wasn't nice, Klaus. Why would you say that? Said Harry. I won't say sorry because I know what you did to my father over summer's break, replied Klaus. Oh, Klaus, said Harry. What, Pooh Knight? Replied Klaus. That wasn't me who killed your father over summer's break, said Harry. Well, who did it, Pooh Knight? Angrily said Klaus. The Dagda, a.k.a. my father. He is the one who killed your father, not me. Okay, said Harry. You're a liar, said Klaus. I'm telling the truth, said Harry. Harry, my son. Come on, say bye to your friends, said Xavier. Harry's father listening in to the conversation. That's your father, right? Inquired Dylan. Yep, that's him, replied Harry. Hey, Pooh Knight's father? Said Klaus. Yes, said Xavier. Are you the monster called the Dagda? Said Klaus. Only when there is a full moon do I become the Dagda, said Xavier. Did you kill my father? Accused Klaus. I'm not sure. What's his name? Said Xavier. My father was the Grim Reaper, said Klaus. Yes, I remember. That was me, replied Xavier. You killed my father, yelled Klaus in disbelief. No, he's still alive, but will be gone by the next full moon, said Xavier. Is my father still alive? Said a very surprised Klaus. Yes, come on, Harry, let's go home, said Xavier, who wanted to leave quickly before Klaus became too fired up. Bye, guys, said Harry, relieved that they were leaving before a fight broke out. Bye-bye, Pooh Knight. Ha-ha, quipped Klaus, trying to provoke Harry. Oh, Harry Knight is so cute and rich, said Helen, swooning. Klaus looked at his phone as a text was received. Holy crap! Mom wants me home straight away. I've got to go now, he said. Bye, Klaus. See you tomorrow at school, said Dylan. Bye, Dylan and Helen, yelled Klaus as he scurried through the school gates. Klaus ran to the car park and jumped on the death bike, starting it up and skidding off out the car park, narrowly missing oncoming traffic. In next to no time, he arrived home. Mom, I'm home, said Klaus. Yes, Klaus. Good that you came back so quickly, said Mrs. Reaper. I'm very sorry, Mom, for taking Dad's Death Rider's bike to school. I didn't want to be late, said Klaus. It's okay, Klaus. I'm not mad at you, said Mrs. Reaper. How was your day? Said Klaus. It was an all-right day for me. What about you, Klaus? How was your very first day at Darkville High School? Said Mrs. Reaper. It was kind of a good day. I met a girl and ran into Pooh Knight again with his father, muttered Klaus. Oh, okay, a girl. What was her name? Inquired Mrs. Reaper. Maya Whitemore, said Klaus. Really? Her mom's my boss, said Mrs. Reaper. Really? What a coincidence, said Klaus. The next morning, Klaus woke up earlier, as thirsty as you could be. He opened the fridge door. Thank you, Mom, he said. For what? Said Mrs. Reaper. You bought more blood milk, said Klaus. Oh, right. You are welcome, Klaus, said Mrs. Reaper. He quickly drank the whole bottle and slammed its empty contents down on the table. Mom, I'm off for school. See you this afternoon, he said, running towards the front door. Bye, my son, said Mrs. Reaper. Klaus ran to the bus stop just in time to catch the bus. He jumped on, relieved to have made it. Klaus, you made the bus today, exclaimed Dylan. I know. How good is that? Said Klaus. He was then greeted with the smiling face of Helen. Good morning, Klaus, she said. Good morning, you two as well, Helen, said Klaus as he sat down on the next available seat. Today we have third period free, so we can go to the Sciences Club, said Dylan, excited about what they will get up to. The bus changed its course of direction with an abrupt halt outside a mansion with massive front gate. What the hell? Why are we stopping outside Pooh Knight's house? A voice from the back of the bus quickly explained the change in bus route. Yesterday, Harry Knight enrolled into Darkville High School, said Charlie River. No, frustratedly said Klaus in anguish. The large automated gate moved to the left. Have a good day, my son, said Xavier Knight. I will, Dad, said Harry. Remember, tomorrow night is the full moon. Ha ha ha. He roared so loudly that Klaus could hear him on the bus. Oh no, said Klaus. What is it? Inquired Dylan. Tomorrow night is the full moon, said Klaus with a worried look on his face. Oh, of course. Your father will die tomorrow night by the Dagda, said Dylan. Harry confidently marched onto the bus and yelled out, Klaus! What poo night? Smirked Klaus. I'm enrolling in Darkville High School to help you, Klaus, said Harry. To help me do what, poo night? Snarled Klaus. To stop my father destroying the earth, said Harry. His emotions were conflicted as he wanted to support his family, but he knew that his father's plans were pure evil. Okay, what's the plan, Harry? Said Dylan, eager to help out. I will try to stop my father leaving the house tomorrow night. I'll fill you in on the details later, said Harry. Oh, okay then, said Klaus, not convinced where Harry's loyalty was. That's a good idea, Harry, said Dylan. Hello, Harry, said Helen, gushing at the prospect of Harry being more than a friend. Hi, Helen, said Harry. The bus arrived at school, and everyone began to make their way to class. Klaus, we're lab partners, said Maya with a smile, happy that she was able to get Klaus to sit with her. Okay then, cool, said Klaus indifferently. Hey, Charlie, wait up, called Dylan. What is it, Dylan? Said Charlie with a smile. Fast forward to 34 hours later in the forest. It's now late at night, and the full moon is about to form over the horizon. Dylan has been trying to reach Klaus and realized he has gone to the forest. Klaus, where are you? He yelled in hope of being heard. Maya was also in the forest and heard the Dylan's voice in the distance. Dylan, what are you doing out here? Hey, she inquired. Looking for my best friend Klaus, he said. Do you want some help finding Klaus? Said Maya. Yes, thanks, replied Dylan. Hey, Maya, said Dylan. Do you really like Klaus? He teased. Yes, said Maya sheepishly. They spotted Klaus on the forest ground. There you are, Klaus, said Dylan. Klaus, I saved you a kiss, said Maya. She came closer to him and they embraced and shared a kiss. Wow, Maya, said Klaus. Klaus, are you all right? Said Dylan. Yes, Dylan, I'm fine, said Klaus. Chapter 2, Solar. Welcome, mister. Grim Reaper to your dooms night, growled Dagda. Dagda, I think you're mistaken. Nothing on this earth can kill me, said Ted Reaper with an air of confidence. What about a solar eclipse? Laughed Dagda. Yes, a solar eclipse will kill me, damn it. You know my secret, said Ted. In the next solar eclipse, you will die or your son will die in your place, said Dagda. No, you take me for your death plan, not my son, and don't hurt him, okay? Said Ted, fuming with rage. I won't hurt him, Reaper, said Dagda. Earlier today, after school, Klaus and Dylan are walking home. Dylan, said Klaus. What is it, Klaus? Said Dylan. Last night I was reading a space book, and I found out that a solar eclipse will able to kill me, said Klaus worriedly. That's terrible. How can we keep you safe when the next one happens? Said Dylan. You will lock me in my room and stay outside my door, said Klaus. You can count on me. Klaus, said Dylan. You are a good friend, Dylan. I can always count on you, said Klaus with a great sense of relief. Thanks, Klaus, said Dylan, happy that he was able to be there for his close friend. I will see you later, Dylan. I want to find Maya, said Klaus. Oh, okay then. Bye, Klaus. See you later then, said Dylan. 6 hours later, back to the forest, Maya has spotted Klaus lying on the forest floor not moving. There you are, she said with relief. She rushes over, and they embrace and kiss. With a smile, the present day. Klaus has been avoiding Maya after their last encounter. Maya, frustrated with Klaus's reaction, decides to confront him at lunchtime. After we kissed in the forest 10 days ago, you keep running away wherever you see me. Why, Klaus? Said Maya. I have not kissed a girl before. That was my first kiss, said Klaus. Really, it was? It was mine too, Klaus, said Maya, relieved. You are kidding, right? Said Klaus now, not feeling as awkward as he thought. No, I'm not, Klaus, said Maya with a smile. Did you know that there is a solar eclipse tonight, Klaus? Said Maya. Really? He said, pausing with a worried look on his face. Oh, are you okay? Said Maya, confused to why Klaus had become withdrawn. Yay, I'm fine, bye, Maya, said Klaus as hurried away. Klaus, yelled Maya, again confused to why Klaus left in a hurry. Klaus was now worried about the consequences of tonight and quickly searched for Dylan. Dylan, the solar eclipse is tonight, he said. Oh no, said Dylan. My father is going to die tonight by Dagda, said Klaus. Klaus, where is Harry? Said Dylan. Do you mean Pooh night? I not talked to him in days, said Klaus. Oh, okay, said Dylan. 5 minutes later in the schoolyard, a new student, Isaac Martin, has joined Darkville High. Where is Klaus? He said. Over there with his best friend Dylan Jones, said Mrs. Long. Isaac walked up to Klaus. Thanks, Klaus, he said. Who are you? Said Klaus. I'm Isaac Martin from the future 175th Den Galaxy, and I'm a superhero called the Shadow. One day soon, people and aliens will be calling you Man of Darkness, said Isaac. What are you doing here on Earth? Said Klaus. I'm here to ask you for help to save our planet, said Isaac. Klaus looked overwhelmed and puzzled as to why Isaac needed his help. How can I possibly save your planet? He said. You are coming to it with me very soon, Klaus, said Isaac. Isaac, my life is on Earth, and my destiny is here too, said Klaus. Klaus, your destiny is not only just on Earth. It is so much bigger, said Isaac. Why me, Isaac? I'm just kid going to high school, said Klaus. You were born to save the galaxies that are to be destroyed, said Isaac. Oh, okay, said Klaus, not sure how to process all of this new information. Klaus, what you going to do? Said Dylan. I don't know, Dylan. This is all a bit too much to deal with, said Klaus. My planet's core is a ticking time bomb now. I need your help to save it, please, said Isaac with a sense of urgency. Isaac, you have a deal. I will save your planet, said Klaus. Thanks, Klaus. I will be back in Darkville soon to get you, said Isaac as he traveled back to the future. Lunch break ended, and they all headed off to science class. Hey, lab partner, what we doing for our project? Said Charlie River. I don't know, Charlie, said Dylan. I think we'll find something very soon, Dylan. How about we catch up at my place at 3.3 this afternoon, said Charlie. Oh, that's right. I can't come over this afternoon, said Dylan. Why not? Said Charlie. I have to help Klaus tonight with his math test, okay? Said Dylan. Oh, okay, Dylan, that's cool. We'll catch up another time, said Charlie. Underneath the Knight's extravagant mansion holds a completely different story where a dungeon is central to Woo. L'air. As the story unfolds 20 minutes later, Ted Reaper finds himself at the mercy of Dagda. He is standing upright, tied to a pole. In few minutes' time, you will be dead, Reaper, snarled Dagda. Oh, Dagda, sir, said Ted, cowering down. What is it, Reaper? Bellowed Dagda. You know my son will avenge my death, and you will also perish, said Ted. Let him try. He's just a young boy. What could he possibly do to harm me? Laughed Dagda. Oh, okay then. It's your funeral, sniggered Ted. A short time later, Ted was ready to face his demise. It is time to die, Grim Reaper, said Dagda. Go on, I dare you. Do it, said Ted. As the moon and the sun crossed paths, Dagda began to sharpen a blade. It began to illuminate. Bye, Grim Reaper, he said. Please don't hurt my son, said Ted. Dagda completed the death ceremony by stabbing the Grim Reaper in the chest. He spontaneously combusted, and all of the signs of his living body turned to ash on the ground. I have done it. I killed the Grim Reaper, and now I have his powers to protect my son. Waha! He said. 22 minutes later, our story takes shape in the 175th Den Galaxy in the future. Isaac has returned from his meeting with Klaus. Everyone, I have good news for you, said Isaac Martin. What is the good news, Isaac? Said Ratatouille. Klaus Reaper is coming to save our galaxy very soon, said Isaac. A short time passed. We hear the regal fanfare of trumpets signing the arrival of the princess, Troyan Summers. She speaks to the citizens, eagerly awaiting her words. I'm waiting for my soulmate to arrive on this planet. She beamed with excitement. I know, my cousin, said Isaac. We jump back in time to the home of Klaus. Dylan, you are finally here to help me with the school project. Thanks a bunch, said Klaus. You're welcome, buddy, said Dylan. The solar eclipse will be in 4 minutes, said Klaus. I'm here, buddy, if you need me, said Dylan. You are a good friend, Dylan, said Klaus. Thanks. The solar eclipse is about to happen in 3, 2, 1, said Dylan. At this stage, Klaus's whole body changed color to a glowing red. The pain is excruciating for him, and he struggled to endure the full 10 minutes of the eclipse. This really hurts, Dylan, he screamed. I know, Klaus. Hang in there. In 10 minutes, it will all be over when the eclipse passes, said Dylan. The eclipse soon finished, and Klaus is worse for wear. Are you all right, Klaus? Said Dylan, worried about his best friend. I'm fine, said Klaus, who then passed out from absolute exhaustion. The next day arrives, and Dylan woke, up to see Klaus still not moving. Wake up, Klaus. We have to find something for our history project before we run out of time, said Dylan. We will look in my attic. I'm sure we will find something there, said Klaus. Okay. Klaus, said Dylan, relieved that his friend was feeling better. They climbed up a tiny ladder to an Aunt C's overcrowded attic with many things from the family's history. Klaus, you have a lot of junk up here, said Dylan. They eagerly searched the items in the attic. What is this? It feels good and deathly, said Klaus. I think that is your father's scythe to kill people when their time was up, said Dylan. Cool, said Klaus. Chapter 3. The Scythe. Klaus is on his dad's Death Rider bike in Darkville's death house at night. We hear the rumble and see Klaus chasing a zombie, popping a wheelie, and the thud of a zombie hitting the dirt with his herd after Klaus runs it over on the bike. Die! Zombie, die! He roars with glee. The splat of the zombie sends blood flying all over Dylan's face to his horror. Klaus, you just killed your first zombie ever, said Dylan as he wiped the gooey blood from his face. I know, Dylan. Isn't it awesome? Laughed Klaus. They see a familiar face. Hey, boys, said Helen. Where you been for the last 3 weeks? Said Dylan. With Harry. And we went on a date, she said, knowing that it would upset Klaus. Klaus fired up. Helen, get out of here now. We're not friends anymore. Okay, stay away or I will kill you with my father's scythe, he screamed. Okay, I'm going, she said. Good, muttered Klaus. I can't believe you'd even show your face after what happened to my father. We cut to a secret cave of... Klaus. That was fun, Dylan, said Klaus. Mrs. Kate Reaper enters. Hello, son, she said. Hi, Mrs. Reaper, said Dylan. Hey, Mom, where you been? Said Klaus. At my sister's house. She thinks our other sister might still be alive, said Kate. What do you think about that? Said Klaus. I don't know, my son. What you been up to when I was gone for a month? Inquired Mrs. Reaper. Nothing much, Mom, replied Klaus, trying to hide his latest conquest. Mrs. Reaper, Klaus killed his first zombie ever, and it was so cool to watch, beamed Dylan with excitement. Shut up now, Dylan. I mean it. Piss off, angrily said. Klaus now fired up that his friend would tell his mother something he hoped to keep a secret. Klaus, damn! You used your father's scythe to kill the zombie, said Mrs. Reaper. I'm very, very sorry, Mom, said Klaus, trying to smooth things over with his mother. Go to bed now, Klaus. This is not the end of this, said Mrs. Reaper. Will I see you tomorrow at school? Said Dylan. Sure thing, whatever, said Klaus, still annoyed that Dylan had accidentally ratted him out. The front door closes as Dylan leaves to head home. Hurry up, Klaus, into bed, said Mrs. Reaper. Okay, I'm going, Mom, said Klaus as he walked up the stairs to his bedroom. Harry Knight is walking through town on his way home. Suddenly, he is confronted by a robber with a medieval mask. He was wearing an illuminated yellow costume and was world-renowned as an infamous robber called the Yellow Spirit. Give me all of your money now, said the Yellow Spirit. Money, which was no problem for the wealthy Harry, said, Here you go. That's all of the money I have got, okay? Thank you, mister. Knight, said the Yellow Spirit. Damn you, Yellow Spirit, said Harry, angrily shaking his fist in the air as the Yellow Spirit escaped. The next morning, Klaus came downstairs timidly. Mom, are you okay? He said. No, she said. What's wrong, Mom? You look sad, said Klaus. Klaus, the bus is outside now. You'd better go, she said softly. I know, Mom. He paused. I can take the day off from school for you if it'll make you feel better, he said. I will be okay. Klaus go to school for me, said Mrs. Reaper. Okay, Mom, bye, said Klaus as he closed the front door. As Klaus hopped on the bus, he spotted Dylan. Klaus, said Dylan. What is it, Dylan? Said Klaus. Did you hear from Helen yet? Inquired Dylan. No, not yet, said Klaus. Oh, okay, said Dylan. Guess what, Klaus? Interrupted Harry Knight. What is it, Pooh Knight? Said Klaus. The Yellow Spirit was in Darkville last night, and he robbed me while I was walking home, said Harry. Ha ha ha, sucked in, said Klaus. That was not funny, Klaus. You need to find him for me, said Harry. Klaus sighed. Okay, I will find him, he muttered with regret. Great. Thanks, Klaus, said Harry. The bus soon arrived at Darkville High, and everyone hopped off, heading for class. Hey, Klaus, asked Dylan. What best friend? Replied Klaus. Do you know who he is? Said Dylan, as he pointed at a new figure in the school grounds. No, I've never seen him before, said Klaus. He is the Winter Lord Cack, excitedly said Dylan. So what? Said Klaus, not amused at all. He saves the world with Red Bomb Rocket, said Dylan. Dylan excitedly walked over with Klaus to greet the man. Hello there, and who are you two? Said Winter Lord Cack. My name is Dylan Jones. This is my best friend Klaus Reaper, said Dylan. Hello, said Klaus. Nice to meet you both, said Winter Lord Cack. Same here, said Dylan. Ashley Blue, Maya's cousin, approached the boys. Hey, Klaus, she said. What? Said Klaus. Maya Whitemore called in sick, and I will take over the science club today, she said. She then walked back to class. Oh, no, said Klaus, unhappy that he would not get a chance to see Maya. Aw, she is very pretty, said Dylan, gushing. Snap out it, Dylan, said Klaus. What, Klaus? Said Dylan, still off in La La Land. You just said Ashley Blue is pretty, said Klaus. She is a pretty girl, said Dylan. Dream on, Dylan Jones, dream on, said Klaus. That was funny, Klaus, said Dylan. The school bell rang, and they both headed off to class. Class, sit down right away. Mr. Reaper, that means you too, said Mrs. Blake Long. Yes, miss, said Klaus as he headed to his table. What are you doing? Said Mrs. Blake Long. I'm doing nothing, said Klaus. Okay, turn around, Mr. Reaper, she said. Yes, miss, said Klaus. Klaus, just look at this picture of Miss Long. Dylan! Ha-ha! This is funny! Ha-ha, Dylan, said Klaus. What's so funny, Mr. Reaper? Said Mrs. Blake Long. Nothing, Mrs. Long, said Klaus, as he tried to hide the picture. Klaus! Reaper! Said Mrs. Long. Nothing, Miss Long, just my science project test. Bring it to me now, Mr. Reaper, she yelled. Okay, Miss Long, said Klaus, knowing he'd be in trouble. Who drew this picture of me? Said Mrs. Long with a stern voice, pointing her finger at the class angrily. As she looked out at the class, Dylan raised his hand. It was me, I drew it, quietly said Dylan as he lowered his head in embarrassment. Mr. Jones, see me after class, said Mrs. Long. Yes, Miss Long, said Dylan, knowing he'd have detention. All right then, class, we are talking about World War II today, said Mrs. Long. Billy Vector turned his head to Dylan. This is boring, he said. I agree, Dylan, said Billy. Hey, Klaus, don't you think World War II is dull? Said Billy. No, Billy. My great-grand-grandfather fought and died in the war. I think it's really important to learn about our history, said Klaus. Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry, said Billy. It's okay, Billy. Don't worry about it, replied Klaus. Mrs. Long then put on a video of World War II and said, Class, watch this video. When it is completed, we will have a quiz about this. Most of the class then sighed. The TV presenter then began, World War II began in 19. Before he finished, the TV power went out. Who turned the power off? Inquired Dylan Jones. It was the Yellow Spirit who did it, said Ashley Blue. Billy looked up with a smile. Thank you, Yellow Spirit, he said. The bell for the next class rang 13 minutes later. Race you to Sciences Club, Klaus, said Dylan as he ran off with a head start. No, Whippy, you can't beat me. Dylan, said Klaus, quickly following him. We will see, Klaus, said Dylan as they ran off through the hall. Klaus now had developed many of his father's powers and conjured up a floor full of skulls in front of Dylan, which caused Dylan to trip over. I win, Dylan, ha-ha, said Klaus as he passed Dylan first to the science club. Damn you, Klaus Reaper, said Dylan. Welcome to the Sciences Club, said Ashley Blue. She's the nicest girl I've met so far, said Dylan to Klaus. Ha 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 ha, said Klaus, teasing Dylan. Stop it, Klaus, said Dylan. I won't stop, Dylan, said Klaus, enjoying the moment. Stop it now, Klaus, said Dylan, becoming frustrated with Klaus. The end of school bell rang 12 minutes later. Dylan walked outside with Helen. Helen, wait up, he called out to her. What you want, Dylan? She said, still angry at him. To say sorry for Klaus about the other night in the graveyard. It wasn't nice, said Dylan. It's okay, Dylan, said Helen. Are we cool? Said Dylan. Yeah, Dylan, we are all cool, said Helen. Klaus just arrived home to hear a knock at the door. He opened the door and said, Miss Blue, as Ashley had just arrived after him. Call me Ashley, she said longingly as she pulled Klaus in close to her for a kiss. Ashley, what the hell? Said Klaus. I'm in love with you, Klaus Reaper, she said, looking hopefully into his eyes. But Ashley, I like Maya White more, okay? Klaus said. I know, Klaus, said Ashley as her eyes welled with tears. Ashley, said Klaus as she began to cry, being rejected by Klaus. Chapter 4. Who's A? Ashley, what are you doing? Said Klaus. Klaus, wait, said Ashley. Ashley then left. 5 minutes later, Ashley arrived at Maya's place. Ashley was talking to herself. Why did I just do that? She muttered. Ashley, where are you? Said Maya. I'm in here, Maya, said Ashley from the kitchen. Noticing that Ashley was upset, Maya said, Why are you crying? Nothing, replied Ashley, being careful not to let Maya know of her indiscretion. Why were you sick today? She inquired. Because I was walking in the rain yesterday and got the flu, said Maya. Ah, you poor little girl, said Ashley. Yeah, I know, said Maya. The last bell signified the end of the school week, and Saturday had now arrived. Today will be a hot day in Darkville, said Klaus to his mum, yawning as he came out of his bedroom, headed for the bys now. Bathroom. Hey, Klaus, your best friend is here, said Mrs. Reaper. I will be down in a minute, Dylan, said Klaus. Hey, buddy, said Klaus as he walked down the stairs to greet Dylan. Klaus, who is A? Said Dylan as he passed flowers already delivered to the Reaper home. I don't know, Dylan, said Klaus. I see that this mystery person called Ah really likes you, said Dylan. You think A's in love with me? Asked Klaus. Yes, I think so, said Dylan. I already have a girlfriend, Maya, said Klaus. I know, Klaus, but what are you going to do with the flowers Ah send you? Said Dylan. I will burn them now, said Klaus as he placed the flowers in the incinerator. It's done, he said, relieved. Meanwhile, I wish that Klaus Reaper was here right now, said the shadow. The shadow? When is our planet going to be saved? Said Ratui. When the rider gets here, little one, said the shadow. 3 minutes later, I'm off to alien planet called Earth, said the shadow. Shadow, can you give the roses to the rider again? Said Princess A. Sure, Princess, said the shadow. We resume the story back at Darkville in Knight's Castle. Dad, why are you killing people? Said Harry. Because I am an evil, twisted man. Mwahaha, said Xavier. Seriously, why, Dad? Said Harry. Look, son, don't ask me that again. Okay, said Xavier with a stern, threatening voice. All right, Dad, said Harry with sad look on his face. Meanwhile, seconds later in Ryder's Cave, Isaac just arrived from the future. Hi, Isaac, said Klaus. Hi, Klaus. Ah wants me give you these roses, said Isaac. You know Ah, said Klaus. Yeah, she's my best friend on my home planet, said Isaac. Okay then, replied Klaus. Dylan entered the cave and, stating the obvious, said, Klaus, it looks like there are more flowers from A. Yes, I know, best friend, politely muttered Klaus, rolling his eyes. Isaac, acknowledged Dylan. Hi, replied Isaac. Hey, Dee, Isaac knows Ah, said Klaus. Really? said Dylan. Yes, Dylan, replied Klaus. Okay, said Dylan. Klaus, you will meet Ah soon, said Isaac. I'm looking forward to it, said Klaus. Okay then, I have to go back to my planet. See you soon, Klaus and Dylan, said Isaac. Bye, Isaac, they both replied. It's 6 p.m. and the mall has closed for the day. This is great. No rules, no one to tell me what to do. Now I'm having fun alone in here and I'm loving it, said Helen Wales. She has been living at the mall. Who is there? Show yourself now, said the mall guard. Relax, it's just a shadow, said the other mall guard. Oh, you are right, he replied. Helen then snuck away. Meanwhile, on Isaac Martin's planet, what's going on? Said Princess A. We are under attack from spiders from the planet. Mafai, said Ratui. I'm the princess of this planet and stop attacking this us, or we will be forced to retaliate. We will not be defeated, said Princess A. Seize her! Bring the princess to me now, bellowed the king spider. The alien spider guards captured Princess A and carried her to the king spider's ship. What you want with me? Cried Princess A. We want to blow your planet up, said the king spider. Why, that makes no sense, said Princess A. I like to destroy planets, and your planet is next, said King Spider. My planet already is a dead planet walking, said Princess A. I know. Take the Princess A to the lockup room, now, said King Spider. Of course, King Spider, said the compliant guards. As the alien spider guards took Princess A to the lockup room, they said, Get in now, Princess, as they prodded her with an electric probe. I'm going. Ow, that hurts. I'm going, she said. Back in Darkville? Come on, spaceship start, damn it, said Isaac. Isaac hacked into Klaus's system. Come on, Klaus, pick up, said Isaac as he continued to hacking. Isaac phoned Klaus again. Come on, damn it, he said frustratedly. 25 minutes later at the local coffee shop. Maya, said Ashley Blue. What is it, Ashley? Replied Maya. I lied to you last night when you asked why I was crying. The real reason was, she paused. Sai, I kissed your boyfriend Klaus on the lips. Maya shocked and upset at what Ashley had told her threw the rest of her coffee at Ashley's face. What? Now I need to talk to my boyfriend, Klaus. Ashley then looked like she was glitching and repeated, wait, Maya. 25 minutes later, Maya arrived at Klaus's house to see the flowers and a card that said, Dear my sweet Klaus, I send you some flowers to show thanks to you. love from A. Maya was frustrated as she thought that A was Ashley again. "Maya, what's wrong?" said Klaus. "Who is A?" angrily said Maya as she crossed her arms in disgust. "I don't know her," said Klaus, shaking his head. "What? I can't believe you're lying to me. Don't talk to me anymore," snapped Maya as she began to cry and walk away. "Maya, don't go," said Klaus, pleading for her forgiveness. Chapter 5. Saving A. The story returns in King Spider's spaceship. "Hey, you stupid spiders, when I'm going home?" taunted Princess A. "Never again, Princess. You will remain a slave to the Spider King," said the alien spider guard. "Please let me go," Princess A pleaded. "Never," said the alien spider guard. "There is a noise in the background." "Who is there?" said the alien spider guard, unaware that the other guard has been taken down. "I'm Troyan Summers, Princess A's half-sister. I'm here to save the princess from your stupid king," said Troyan as she dropped him to the ground. "Sis, don't," said Princess A. "Sister, I finally found you," said Troyan. "Thanks for saving me," said Princess A, relieved to no longer be a prisoner. "You are welcome anytime, sister," said Troyan. "Let's get out of here," said Princess A. "That's a good idea, Princess," replied Troyan. Meanwhile, in Darkville, Klaus and Dylan are helping Isaac with his spaceship. "Try it again, Isaac," said Klaus. "I'm trying it, Klaus," replied Isaac, frustrated at how long it was taking. "Try swapping the red and blue fans," said Dylan. "I will try that now, Dylan," said Isaac. Isaac swapped the red and blue fans, and then the spaceship suddenly turned on. "Good idea, Dylan," said Isaac, relieved. "Thanks, Isaac," replied Dylan, happy that he was able to help. "Will you join me on an adventure, Klaus?" said Isaac. "I can't, because Maya and I just broke up. I have to find a way to win her back again," said Klaus. "I see, Klaus. How about you, Dylan? Do you want to come with me to my home planet?" said Isaac. "Sure, why not?" excitedly replied Dylan, eager for this new journey. "We have to leave now, Dylan," said Isaac. "Okay, let's go. Bye, Klaus," they both said as they flew off into the distance. A few seconds later, back on the King Spider's spaceship. "Where are we, Troyan?" said Princess A. "I don't know, Princess," said Troyan. "Welcome to your doom, Princess," said King Spider. "What do you want with me?" replied Princess A. "To take over your kingdom," snarled the King Spider. "No, the shadow will return soon, Crazy King," said Princess A. "I know. Little alien, and when he returns, I will kill him," confidently replied King Spider. "Oh no," said Troyan. "Meanwhile, this is my first journey into space," excitedly said Dylan. "Most of my space travel has been missions to save planets from being destroyed," said Isaac. "Wow, Isaac, that's amazing," said Dylan. "We are here," said Isaac. "Where?" said Dylan. "My home planet," said Isaac. Isaac put on the shadow suit. "Look outside, Dylan," said the shadow. "Okay, Shadow, I will." "Oh no, your planet is very sick," said Dylan with distress. "I know, Dylan," said the shadow. "Whose spaceship is next to us?" inquired Dylan. "Oh no, it's King Spider's spaceship. What are Troyan Summers and Princess A doing on it?" said Isaac. "Who is that?" said Dylan, with love hearts jumping back and forwards in his eyes. "She is Troyan Summers," replied the shadow. "She is such a pretty alien," said a gobsmacked Dylan. "Okay then," said the shadow as he tasted his lunch, embarrassed for Dylan. "Who is that behind Troyan Summers?" said Dylan. She is the princess of this planet, said the shadow. Wow, she is one ugly alien, said Dylan. Hey, she is our princess. Show some respect, said the shadow. I'm sorry, Shadow, said Dylan, not really feeling any sense of remorse. She can see the future, said the shadow. Wow, that's cool, replied Dylan. Meanwhile, back on King Spider's spaceship, that's the shadow spaceship there, said Princess A. Someone else is next to him, said Troyan. He's a human, said Princess A. A human? Said Troyan. Yes, a human, said Princess A. He's cute, said Troyan. You think so? Said Princess A, disapproving of her sister's choice. I do so, said Troyan. Back on the Shadow's spaceship. Are you ready, Dylan? Said the Shadow, preparing to attack King Spider. Yes, said Dylan, wanting to save his newfound love interest. All right then, let's go, said the Shadow. Shadow, you are back from the alien planet called Earth, said the alien spider guard, preparing for attack. My name's not Shadow, and now I will kill your king, said the Shadow, retaliating in battle. You won't be killing our king, said the alien spider guard. Try and stop me, said the Shadow. The Shadow killed the alien spider guard with his sword. I feel sick, said Dylan as wires came out of his mouth. He had not yet adjusted to the difference in oxygen levels. Meanwhile, what's going on? Said Princess A. Why did King Spider's guards stop attacking us? Said Troyan. I don't know, Princess, said the Shadow. At that moment, all of King Spider's spaceships flew off into space. I'm sorry, Shadow, said Dylan. What for? Replied the Shadow. For being sick and leaving wires in your spaceship, regretfully said Dylan. That's all right. I will call Ratui to clean it up, said the Shadow. King Spider hates human blood. You are our hero, said Troyan. Thanks, aliens, said Dylan. Come here, Dylan, said Troyan as she leaned over and kissed Dylan Jones. Chapter 6. Rise of the Dead in Klaus's jail cell. 2 weeks ago was my first breakup with a girl, said Klaus. That's not the reason you are here today, said Dr. Rosamond Rose. All right then, said Klaus. Tell me what happened last night, said Dr. Rosamond Rose. I was getting ready for the Halloween party at Ashley Blue's house, said Klaus. Klaus recalls the events from 26 hours earlier. Where is my werewolf mask? Said Klaus. What are you looking for, my son? Said Mrs. Reaper. My werewolf mask for tonight, Mum, replied Klaus as he frantically searched the house. It's in the attic, said Mrs. Reaper. Thanks, Mum, said a relieved Klaus, happy his costume was now complete. Meanwhile, at the night residence. Hey, Dad, said Harry. What, son? Angrily replied Xavier. Why, you are packing, inquired Harry. When I kill Klaus, Darkville will be cured from death, and we will leave this town forever, said Xavier. I don't understand why, replied Harry. I was born to kill Klaus Reaper. I no longer need to be here once I have done that, said Xavier. A few secs later on planet Mahaffey. Did you have fun on my planet? Asked Isaac. Yes, I did have fun, and thanks for inviting me. Thankfully, said Dylan. You are welcome any time, said Isaac. Wait, Dylan, said Troyan. How did you get on my spaceship? Said a puzzled Isaac. Oops, I snuck in when you weren't watching, said Troyan. I want to stay on Earth with Dylan, she continued. Dylan, trying to play it cool, said, Come on then, Troyan. Meanwhile, in Darkville's mall, every night gets better than the night before, muttered Helen to herself, enjoying the stupidity of the mall. Guards! Get back here, miss! Don't run away! I need some backup on floor 12, said Mallguard Hasson. Where on floor 12 are you? Replied Mallguard, hashed to into his walkie-talkie. Near Sir Jones Edwards' store, replied Mallguard Hasson. I see her now. Let's close in, replied Mallguard Hash-2. Realizing that both Mallguards were on either side of her, Helen said, I'm trapped. Hi, guards. Come with us, miss. You've got a lot of explaining to do, said Mallguard Hash-2. Meanwhile, Maya, said Ashley. What cousin? Replied Maya. How are you? Said Ashley. I'm angry with you. You kissed my ex-boyfriend on the lips while I was sick, said Maya. Oh, that, regretfully replied Ashley. My family and I are moving out of Darkville tomorrow for a while, said Maya. Oh, okay, tearfully replied Ashley. 20 hours earlier, before the start of the chapter, Darkville graveyard at dusk. Rise, my army of zombies, said Dagda as he summoned to the graves. At this time, a few tombstones began to break, with hands coming out of the ground. Yes, evilly said Dagda, as the zombies began to rise from the earth. Klaus then arrived on his bike. Dagda! He called out. Klaus Reaper, are you ready to die? Said Dagda with a sinister look. Nope, not yet, said Klaus, pulling out the scythe. Zombies! Attack Klaus Reaper! Bellowed Dagda as he pointed in Klaus's direction. Die, 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 zombies! Yelled Klaus as he swiped the scythe from left to right, aiming to kill the zombies. Damn you, Klaus Reaper, said Dagda. You lose, Knight, said Klaus. No, I win, Klaus, said Xavier, transforming back to his human self, as a policeman arrived to see Klaus swiping his scythe in Javier's direction. On your knees now, hands behind your head, said the policeman. Ha ha, Klaus, said Xavier with a sly grin. It was Xavier Knight. He did this, not me, said Klaus. Klaus, said a worried Billy Vector riding in his father's police car. Billy, help me, please, said Klaus. Shut up, said the policeman. A few seconds later in Darkville, Earth is a different planet from my planet, said Troy and Summers. Yeah, the Earth is different, isn't it? Replied Dylan. Dylan, the police have Klaus, said Billy. Oh, no. We all need to think of a plan to save him, said Dylan. After they talked about options to save Klaus, Dylan decided to do nothing to save him. Are you sure? Said Billy. It would be too risky, said Dylan.
Mm.
13 hours earlier, Dad, the removal truck is already here, said Harry. Already, replied Xavier. I'm coming, son. Hurry up, Dad, said Harry impatiently. Where's everything, son? Said Xavier. On the truck already.
You're staring again. Makes me feel all warm inside. This mask, it smiles for me when I'm busy. Don't worry, I'll be quick. Probably. You're staring again. Makes me feel all warm inside. This mask, it smiles for me when I'm busy. Don't worry.
I've already moved it all, said Harry. We're done in Darkville. It won't be cursed, angrily said Xavier. What? Klaus is not dead? Asked Harry. No, my plan did not work, said Xavier. Oh, good, whispered Harry to himself. The removal truck left from Darkville with the Knight family. back to Klaus's jail cell. We need a break from your story for a few minutes, said Dr. Rosamond Rose. That's a good idea, Doctor, said Klaus. Chapter 7, Rage to Kill. Okay, Klaus, let's continue where you left off. What happened next? Said Dr. Rosamond Rose. Said Klaus. We then entered Klaus's memory from 12 hours earlier after he was arrested and placed in a jail cell. I didn't do it, pleaded Klaus. That's the same line criminals use every day, said the policeman. Oh, said Klaus, feeling a sense of hopelessness. Meanwhile, at Maya's house, Maya, I was in jail for 8 hours, said Helen. What for? Curiously replied. Maya, living in the mall, said Helen. I'm moving out of Darkville forever right now, said Maya. Maya, the moving van is here, said Mr. Whitemore. I'm coming, Dad. Bye, Helen, said Maya as she hugged Helen goodbye. I will miss you, Maya, tearfully said Helen. I know, said Maya, relieved to be leaving. Maya hopped into the car and drove off in front of the van, leading the way. Helen waved goodbye. Sadness had taken over her, and she wept as they drove off into the distance. 11 hours earlier. Klaus, why you were in the police station, said Dylan. I was in trouble, secretively replied Klaus, being careful not to reveal his true purpose. Okay, Klaus, replied Dylan. Klaus? Said Ashley, pausing for a moment. Yes, Ashley, replied Klaus. I love you, Klaus, said Ashley as she grabbed him by the shirt and dragged him in close for a kiss on the lips. Wow, Ashley, said Klaus, surprised by her actions. Good for you, buddy, said Dylan as he clapped his hands and shook Klaus's right hand. Thanks, I think, said Klaus, not really sure whether he was happy with what just happened. 10 hours earlier? Oh no! What are you doing on Earth? Said a concerned Isaac. To see my true love, replied Princess A. Klaus Reaper? Questioned Isaac. Yes, said a smitten Princess A. Princess A, when I last saw you, I rescued you from the spiders, said Troyan Summers. Thanks for that, replied Princess A. You are welcome any time, said Troyan Summers. We return to the present day to find Klaus had just woken up from passing out. It was painful to remember last 9 hours, said Klaus. It's okay, Klaus. Now get some rest, said Dr. Rosamond Rose. I will. Okay, bye, Doctor, said Klaus. Chapter 8, Rescue! 4 months later in a Russian prison? I've been trapped in here for 4 months now, said an exhausted Klaus. Shut up, Klaus Reaper, said P.A. Someone will break me out of here, said Klaus. Nope, ain't gonna happen, replied P.J. Meanwhile, at the prison front gate, Dylan was trying to crack the code to break into the main entry point. Hurry up, Dylan, said a frustrated Red Bomb Rocket. I'm coming, said Dylan. Open this door now, said Red Bomb Rocket as his impatience grew. I did it, we're in, said Dylan. Good job, said a relieved Red Bomb Rocket. A few minutes later, I'm looking for Mr. Reaper, said Red Bomb Rocket, with bow drawn, ready to unleash his arrow at PJ. Who are you? Said PA, not concerned with the arrow pointing at him. I'm Red Bomb Rocket. Now get out of my way, he said as he threatened PJ. I don't think so, Rocket, said P, taunting Red Bomb Rocket. I will kill you, yelled Red Bomb Rocket. Okay then, said PJ. Good, said Red Bomb Rocket as he fired 2 arrows into PJ's hands, pinning him to the back wall. What's going on out there? Said Klaus. It is time to go, Klaus, yelled PJ. What? Said Klaus, confused at what was happening. Hello, Klaus, said Red Bomb Rocket. Who are you? Said Klaus. I'm Red Bomb Rocket. Dylan, I got him, he said in his microphone. Great! Get him out of there now! Run! Replied Dylan. Red Bomb Rocket turned to face Klaus. Time to go, he said. As they continued with the escape, PJ with all his courage was able to free himself from the arrows by forcing his hands back through the arrows. The arrows now were his weapons. Freeze and turn around slowly, said PA with broken wires protruding from the gaping arrow wounds. Run, Klaus! Run fast as you can! Yelled Red Bomb Rocket. All right, I'm going, replied Klaus as he hurried to the nearest exit. They escaped the prison and soon met up with Dylan. Hello, buddy. It's been over 4 months since we last spoke to each other, said Dylan. I'm relieved to see Klaus again. I know, buddy, said Klaus, more grateful to be out of the hellhole that was his prison. They embraced each other, soon to be interrupted by Red Bomb Rocket firing flame arrows back towards the prison. Guys, let's run, he said as he sprinted ahead. Thanks, guys, for breaking me out of jail, said Klaus. Anytime, buddy, said Dylan. They soon arrived at Sheremetyevo International Airport and set course for home. A few hours, they all arrived safely back in Darkville, exhausted and sleepy from their ordeal. What the hell? Said Klaus, unfamiliar with this new place he had arrived in. The cave was hidden and had high-tech equipment tapping into satellite and CCTVs in Darkville. It was a training ground for Team Rider to protect Darkville. This is the Rider Cave for us to save the day and night, said Dylan, proud of what he'd achieved. Cool, said Klaus. They're excited at the possibilities of what Team Rider could now achieve. At that moment, Klaus's phone buzzed from his pocket. It was from Ashley. Hello, said Klaus. Klaus, are you okay? Said Ashley. I'm fine now, replied Klaus. I was missing you. Come home, Klaus, said Ashley. Ah, I will come home soon, replied Klaus. Who was that? Inquired Dylan. Ashley Blue, said Klaus. Who is she? Asked Red Bomb Rocket. A friend of mine, said Klaus. You should go home, Klaus. You must be tired from your ordeal, and it would be a great chance to catch up the Ashley again. Are you sure? Replied Klaus. Yes, I'm sure, said Dylan. Ring me when you get things for that mission ready. Make sure you call me right away, said Klaus. Just go, Klaus. We'll be fine, said Dylan. I will be, Dylan, replied Red Bomb Rocket. Meanwhile, at Knight's World, it's about time you got here, RBR, said an impatient Klaus. Shut up, Klaus, said Red Bomb Rocket. Let's go to save Darkville, said Klaus. Dylan, where is the Tube of Death? Said Red Bomb Rocket. Guys, the Tube of Death is on the 29th floor, said Dylan. We're on the way to get it, said Red Bomb Rocket. After you, Rocket, said Klaus. Guys, a woman in a cat costume has the tube in her hands, said Dylan. Track her now. Dylan, said Klaus. I'm on it, replied Dylan. Anything, Dylan, said Klaus angrily. Nothing, Klaus, frustratedly replied Dylan. Let's go, Reed, said Klaus. Shut up, said Red Bomb Rocket. They soon arrived on the 29th floor. Where is she, Dylan? Asked Klaus. I don't know, said Dylan. Find her, now, said Klaus, who desperately wanted to stop the mysterious thief from taking the tube. Klaus, oh, we have school tomorrow. It's getting late, said Red Bomb Rocket. We can pick this up after school tomorrow, said Klaus. That's a good idea, said Dylan. Okay, see you both in class tomorrow, said Klaus. Bye, Klaus, said Red Bomb Rocket. The next day in class, Klaus spoke to the team. After school, we should go to the Rider Cave right away, said Klaus. Yes, replied both Percy and Dylan. Good, said Klaus. Please welcome Miss Tanya English to our school, said Mr. Arthurs. Hello, everyone, said Tanya. Chapter 9. The Half One. 3 years ago. Get out of bed, my son, said Ted Reaper. Soon I will, Dad, replied Klaus, trying to stay in bed as long as possible. I mean now, son, said Ted with fatherly authority. All right, Dad, said Klaus reluctantly. That is a good boy, said Ted. Guess who's out of bed, said Ted to Kate. Good morning, Mom, yawned Klaus. Good morning, son. Are you ready for your first day at school? Said Kate. Maybe, said Klaus with hesitation. You will be fine, son, reassured Ted. I have no friends, said Klaus. Soon you will make friends, said Ted. The school bus is outside now, said Kate. Bye, son, said Ted as Klaus left the house. Bye, Daddy, said Klaus. Klaus approached the bus as they opened. As he entered, the bus driver said, Hello there, boy. Take your seat. No, new meat, said Andrew Rolling. No, pooh meat, quipped Harry Knight. Hey, you, said a voice from behind. It was Dylan Jones looking to make friends with the new boy. Me? Puzzled Klaus. Yes, and sit down with me, said Dylan. Okay, thanks, said a relieved Klaus. You are welcome. And what is your name? Said Dylan. My name is Klaus Reaper, said Klaus. The son of the Grim Reaper? Said Dylan in jest. Well, actually, yes I am, said Klaus proudly. Cool, laughed Dylan. I'm new. I don't know anyone, said Klaus. I'm looking for a friend as well, said Dylan with hope. Do you want to be my best friend? Said Klaus. Really? Said Dylan. Yeah, if you want to, replied Klaus. Yes, I will be your best friend, Klaus, happily said Dylan. This was the start of a long-lasting friendship. Hey, new meats, what are you two talking about? Said Harry Knight, the local antagonist. Nothing, Pooh Knight, replied Klaus. Good one, Klaus, said Dylan as the rest of the bus laughed at Klaus's wit. Thanks, Nutty, replied Klaus with a cheeky smile. Knight, leave them alone, said Maya as she noticed Harry. Go ready to punch Klaus. No, yelled Harry with his arms ready to fight. I'm warning you. Leave them alone, said Maya, pointing her finger at Harry. No, 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 replied Harry as his rage intensified. Leave us alone, Pooh Knight, said Dylan, rolling his eyes. Soon you pay for this, Klaus, said Harry, shaking his fist. Why me? Said Klaus, shrugging his shoulders. Harry stormed off, and Maya stuck her foot out, tripping him over in the process. Oh no, Klaus! The zombie army is front of the bus, said Dylan with fear. We need to eat human brains now, said the zombies' army in unison. Go, my army! Eat up them human brains on that school bus, said Xavier Knight. Brains, 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 droned the undead zombie army as they approached the bus. Dad, what are you doing with the zombies? Said Harry. Harry, I'm the leader of the zombie army, bellowed Xavier Knight. But why? Said Harry, with disbelief. To get my revenge on the people who killed your half-sister Tanya, scornfully said Xavier. What? I had a half-sister. Who killed her? Said Harry. The Grim Reaper, said Xavier with anger. My father killed her? Said Klaus with disbelief. I'm sorry that you have been dragged into this, Klaus, said. Dylan, it's okay, Dylan, reassured Klaus. Klaus? Your father killed my half-sister years ago, said Harry, upset at what he had just found out. I didn't know that my father was a killer, regretfully replied Klaus. Your father is the legend Grim Reaper of Death, said Harry, enraged with what he just found out. Night say good night, said Charlie Rivers as he punched Harry to the ground. Thanks, Charlie, said Klaus. You're welcome, replied Charlie. Are you okay? Said Maya. Yes, I'm okay, said Klaus. That girl is so crazy, said Klaus to Dylan. I don't know. I think she might have a crush on you, Klaus, said Dylan. Really? Said Klaus. Yes, I think so, said Dylan. Harry's eyes opened from being knocked out. What happened? He said. Charlie knocked you out, said Dylan. I will get back at him soon, scornfully said Harry. Nice one. And now Charlie will hate us for telling Pooh Knight about him, said Klaus. Sorry, regretfully said Dylan. Maya? Said Ashley Blue. What Ashley? Replied Maya. I think that you've got a thing for that boy over there, said Ashley, looking in the direction of Klaus. I do not have a thing for that boy, said Maya. Yes, you do, said Ashley. Shut up, said Maya. Charlie? Said Harry Knight. Go away, Knight, replied Charlie. Stop it now, boys, said Helen. She is not a crazy girl, said Klaus to Dylan. Klaus, I was thinking that we asked that girl if she would like to be friends with us, said Dylan. That's a good idea, Dylan. Ask her now, said Klaus. No, you ask her, said Dylan. Fine, I will ask her. Hey, girl near Harry, said Klaus. Hey, what you want? Said Helen. Will you be friends with us? Said Klaus. Sure, I will be your friend, and also with the boy next to you, replied Helen. Great, said Klaus. My name is Dylan Jones, by the way, said Dylan. The bus then arrived at school. Have a good first day at school, kids, announced the bus driver. Welcome to Darkville Primary School, said Tony Funnybones. I have 2 good friends now, and I'm not scared anymore, said Klaus to himself. Chapter 10. The dead girl is alive and well. We begin a few minutes later after the ending of Chapter 8 in the book club room. Dylan? Asked Klaus. Yes, Klaus, replied Dylan. Do you remember when we first came friends? Said Klaus. Yes, on the school bus 3 years ago. Why? Replied Dylan. Pooh Knight's father said my father killed his half-sister, said Klaus frustratedly. I remember that, replied Dylan. Now I think she is not dead anymore, said Klaus. Why do you think that? Said Dylan. I think she is sitting behind me, said Klaus. Ask her who her father is, said Dylan. Now? Said Klaus nervously. Yes, now, said Dylan. Tanya, can I ask you something? Said Klaus. Yes, ask away, she replied. What's your father's name? Said Klaus. I don't know. He left Darkville with his son after I arrived here. I never really knew him, said Tanya. We knew your father was here, said Klaus. Really? Said Tanya, surprised. Dylan and Klaus both nodded their heads. I didn't know him when I arrived in Darkville. He was gone for nearly 4 months, said Percy Reed. Is my father dead yet? Said Tanya. No, said Klaus. Haven't you killed him yet? She replied. What? Said Klaus, astonished with her. In the future, you will kill my father to save me from him, she said. Wow, really? Replied Klaus. Tell me more about the future, inquired Klaus. No, that is a bad idea, said Tanya. Are you and your friends looking for the tube of death? Said Tanya. Yes, replied Klaus. I have it at my home, said Tanya. So, you are the girl that took the tube of death from Knight's World. Why? Said Klaus, puzzled. So I could bring it to you, said Tanya. Can we trust you to bring it to the Rider Cave after school? Said Klaus. Yes, see you later at the Rider Cave, said Tanya, already aware of its existence from the future. Great, see you then, said Klaus. Yes, see you later at the Rider Cave, replied Tanya. Who is that? Said Ashley. I don't know, said Troy and Summers. She is a pretty girl, said Ashley with a degree of envy. Are you still in love with Klaus? Teased Troyan. Yes, replied Ashley. Tell Klaus that you still love him, okay, said Troyan. I will, said Ashley. Tell him now, Ashley, before it's too late, said Troyan. Okay, I'm going, said Ashley as she turned around to face Dylan and Klaus. Here comes Ashley, said Dylan as he nudged Klaus. Klaus? Said Ashley. Oh, hello, Ashley, replied Klaus. Yeah. Oh, never mind, Klaus, she said as she walked away. What the? Said Klaus as he turned back to Dylan. Can we trust Tanya? He said. I don't know. What do you think, Percy? Replied Dylan. I'm not sure either, said Percy. I will give her a chance to do some good, said Klaus. Are you mad? Said Dylan with disbelief. Meanwhile, I still can't tell Klaus I'm in love with him, said Ashley. Why? Replied Troyan. Because of Tanya. She makes me feel nervous. She's good looking, said Ashley. It's okay, Ashley, said Troyan. Meanwhile, in the Crime Lord lair, our plan is moving forward this afternoon, said Tanya. Well done, my child, replied Mr. G. Thank you, Master. And I got to go meet up with Klaus at his cave, said Tanya. Bye, my child, said Mr. G, as Tanya left with her TBC costume on. Karai, said Mr. G. Gee! What is it, my father? Replied Karai. I want you to kill Tanya and the Rider's allies, said Mr. G. I'm on it, father, said Karai. Good, said Mr. G, as he rubbed his hands together. Meanwhile, in the Rider Cave, Tanya will arrive here soon, said Klaus. Klaus, this is a bad idea to put Tanya in our team, said Dylan. I'm the leader of this team, and it is up to me to decide who joins us, said Klaus. Guys, she is here, said Percy, interrupting. Oh, great, said Dylan with regret. I'm going to get her back in a minute, said Klaus as he walked out of the cave. You're finally here, said Klaus. Yes, I'm here, replied the brown cat. They both walked back into the cave to be greeted by the other members. Hi again, said the brown cat. Welcome aboard, said Dylan. Yes, welcome to the team, said Percy. What's next? Replied the brown cat. Chapter 11. The Birth of the Cat. Klaus Reaper, the Red Bomb Rocket, and the brown cat enter into the Rider Cave. We stopped an all-out mob war tonight, said an enthusiastic Klaus. Well done, heroes and cat, proudly replied Dylan. Thanks, Tanya, for helping us out tonight, said Red Bomb Rocket. You're welcome, teammate, said the brown cat, feeling appreciated. Dylan and Percy, exhausted from their adventure, agreed they would both head home for the night. See you later, guys, said Klaus. I still don't trust her. Something's not right. I have some evil feeling about the brown cat, whispered Dylan. Oh, okay then, said an indifferent Percy as he shrugged his shoulders. Back in the Rider Cave, Klaus was getting to know Tanya. Tanya, is there a story behind how you became the brown cat? He inquired. Yes, why? Replied Tanya, who was hesitant to let Klaus know more about her past. I want you to tell me the story, please, begged Klaus, eager to know more about the brown cat. Oh, okay then. It all started 6 years ago when I was 9 at all-girls boarding school, said Tanya. We now experience life for Tanya as a flashback, and our story unfolds in the past. From her memories, Tanya has arrived at the dormitory and introduces herself to a young Emily Holmes. Hello, I'm the new girl. I'm looking for room 1123, my first class of today, said Tanya. That's history class, and we have it first as well, replied a young Don Miliotti. Can I follow you to the classroom? Timidly asked Tanya. Both Don and Emily nodded and replied, Sure. The girls exchanged names quickly before realizing they were late to class and were greeted by Mr. Mike Logan, also reminding them of their tardiness. Sorry, Mr. Logan, they replied. And who do we have here? Asked Mr. Logan. Tanya, English, and today is my first day at this school, said Tanya. Welcome to our school, said Mr. Logan. Thanks, replied Tanya as she sat down ready for her first lesson. Class, today we'll learn about the last day of the dinosaurs. Does anybody know what animals lived through the asteroid event? Said Mr. Logan. The small mammals, said a young Caitlin Robinson. You are right, Caitlin. Okay. What was the last living dinosaur? Said Mr. Logan. Raptors? Guessed a young Carly Logan. No, that's not correct, said Mr. Logan. Tanya, do you know the answer? He said. Triceratops? Said Tanya, hopefully guessing the right answer. Well done, you're right. And finally, what was the name of the 3 eras of the dinosaurs that were alive? Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous, confidently said a young Emily Holmes. They were interrupted by the bell before finding out if the answer was correct. Class, read pages 45 to 81 by next week, said Mr. Logan. We will be good friends, Tanya, said young Emily Holmes. Tanya's flashback finished, and our story continued at the present day. What happened next? Asked Klaus. On that night I died and I was brought back to life. When I returned, I had powers that were new to me, and a darkness I could not control. I went on to work for the Killing Crime Team for years, and learned many things. I soon completed my training there, and came to Darkville to start a new life. What happened next? He asked Klaus, intrigued by her story. The flashback continues at Killing Crime Team headquarters. Sit down, young one, said Master Damien Logan Mathieson. Young Tanya English sat down on the floor. I came here today to learn what I need to fight back, she said. The first thing that you are going to do is choose a code name for yourself, said Master Mathieson. My code name will be the Brown Cat, said Tanya. That is a good code name, young one. Here is your teacher, Karai Manson, said Master Mathieson. What first? Eagerly said Tanya. Make your brown cat costume, said Karai Manson. Let's go then, replied Tanya. Master, I like her, said Karai. I know that. I picked you to teach her to be a hero, said Master Mathieson. Thank you, Master, said young Karai Manson. You are welcome, Karai Manson. And now goes teacher. I'm counting on you, said Master Mathieson. Tanya busily worked on her costumes for the next few hours. Karai, I'm done making my brown cat costume, said Tanya. Great! Put it on now, replied Karai. Tanya carefully and with much excitement put on her costume for the first time. How does it feel? Said Karai. It feels great, said young Tanya English. That's good, said Karai. What now? said Tanya with anticipation. Now we train, said Karai. Great, said Tanya. Let's train, said Karai. Our story now returns to the present day. That is my story of how I became the brown cat, said Tanya. Wow, that was a great story, Tanya, said Klaus. Thanks, Klaus, said Tanya. You are welcome, Tanya, said Klaus. Klaus? Would you like to come over to my place now? Said Tanya. Yeah, okay, said Klaus. Great, said Tanya. Both hold hands and walk out of the Rider Cave. Chapter 12. The Many Lovers of Klaus Reaper. Our story continues few days later at Tanya's house. Today is Valentine's Day, said Tanya with a hint of hope in her voice. There is a knock on her front door. A muffled voice asks, Tanya, are you in there? Yes, I'm getting ready for school, replied Tanya. Okay then, replied the voice. With extreme force, the front door is kicked from its hinges and a face from Tanya's past enters enraged. Don't you remember me, Tanya? Said the intruder. I am Karai, she said. What did you drop in for? Said a completely bewildered Tanya. Mister, G wants me to kill you and your new friends, said Karai. A fight scene of epic proportions breaks out, and Tanya quickly remembers her training to stay alive. At a place of residence in Canada, we find Maya Whitemore with tears in her eyes, holding a picture of her with Klaus on their first date. I'm missing you, Klaus Reaper, she said as she wept into her pillow. Maya, are you okay? Said Mr. Whitemore as he walked past Maya's bedroom door. It sounds like you are crying. No, I'm missing my ex-boyfriend so much. It's not fair, said Maya. Don't worry. Everything will be all right, said Mr. Whitemore. Really? It hurts so much, said Maya. It's hard now. Your heart must feel broken, but in time you find a new fish in the sea, said Mr. Whitemore. Thanks, Dad, said Maya. You're welcome, sweetheart, replied Mr. Whitemore. I want to go back to Darkville to get him back, said Maya. So go and get him back then, replied Mr. Whitemore. Really? Said Maya. Yes, I only want you to be happy, replied Mr. Whitemore. Thanks, Daddy. You're the best, she said as she embraced him. And 175th Den Galaxy suitors are lining up one by one with the hope of marrying Princess Alice, a.k.a. Princess A. No, next, said Princess Alice as she motioned with her left arm. Princess, you need pick one to be your husband, said Ritui. I know that, said Princess Alice with frustration. Pick one now, my princess, said Ritui. Next, motioned Princess Alice with increasing anger. She then paused for a moment. Wait a minute, I know someone I can make my husband, she said with a sly grin. Who? Replied Ritui. Klaus Reaper, said Princess Alice. Really? Replied Ritui. Yes, he will be mine. I will marry Klaus Reaper, said Princess Alice. Okay then, I'm sorry guys, said Ritui to the remaining disappointed suitors. Somewhere in New Jersey, Harley Argent is on her phone. Sam, I'm going to Darkville in 2 weeks. Bye, Sam, she said as the call ended. Where are you going in 2 weeks? Said Zach Argent, her father. To Darkville to see my old boyfriend, said Harley Argent. Why? Replied Zach. I want to get him back. I still love him, said Harley, gushing with hope. Okay then. Good luck, my little girl, replied Zach. Thanks, Daddy, she said. In the hallway of Darkville High School. Where is Klaus? Asked Ashley Blue. There's Tanya. She may know where Klaus is, replied Troyan. Excuse me, Tanya, Do you know where Klaus is? Said Ashley. Yes, Klaus's grandparents from the North Pole will be in town for a few days. He is looking after them, said Tanya. Thanks. Oh, okay then, bye, said Ashley Blue. See you, said Tanya. Did she ever tell you where Klaus was before? Asked Troyan. No, said a betrayed Ashley Blue. That sucks, replied Troyan with equal disappointment. In Princess Alice's spaceship. Hello, Princess, said the voice of the spaceship. Hello, back, said Princess Alice. Where are you going? Replied the spaceship. Earth, said Princess Alice. Here we go. Off to Earth, said the spaceship as they blasted off into the cosmos. Call Isaac, said Princess Alice. Calling Isaac, replied the spaceship's voice. Isaac answered his phone. Princess, I'm in the middle of a fight. Make it quick, he said. I'm going to Earth and see Klaus again. I want you to come with me, said Princess Alice. All right, my princess, said Isaac Martin. See you soon, replied Princess Alice. Meanwhile, in the Rider Cave. Klaus, are you in here? Said Tanya. Tanya, said Red Bomb Rocket. Percy, where is Klaus? Said Tanya. Red Bomb Rocket removed his costume and changed back into Percy. I don't know where Klaus is, he replied. That's fine, said Tanya. At an all-girls bar, Ashley Blue is drowning her sorrows. What's wrong with me? She said, lamenting in self-pity. What do you mean? Said Troyan. Why doesn't Klaus like me? Replied Ashley. I don't know, Ashley, replied Troyan. I think that Klaus in love with Tanya, said Ashley. Why you think that, Ashley? Said Troyan. I saw it in her eyes today at school, said Ashley. There is a knock at the door at Klaus Reaper's house. Klaus, are you in there? Said Tanya. Is that you, Tanya? Said Kate Reaper. Hi, Mrs. Reaper. Where is Klaus? Inquired Tanya. He out with his friends. Would you like to come in and wait for him? Said Kate. Sure, why not? Said Tanya. Chapter 13. The Shadow Returns. After a few hours had passed, Klaus and Dylan entered the Rider Cave. I'm sorry for the past few days, said Klaus. It's okay, buddy, replied Dylan. Guys, where you been for past few days? Who said a lost Percy Reed? I was catching up with my grandfather at his house, said Klaus. I was behind with my homework, so I had to study, said Dylan. Tanya was looking for you, Klaus, teased Percy. Why? Replied Klaus. You did sleep with her, right? Said Percy. Yeah, I did, but that's private, replied Klaus sheepishly. Why, Klaus? Said Dylan, continuing to tease as he elbowed Klaus in the shoulder. Look, how it just happened, replied Klaus, eager to cut the conversation short. A few moments later, Tanya entered the Rider Cave. Klaus, where you been for the past few days? She said, relieved to see him again. I was in London catching up with old friends, said Klaus. Dylan and Percy looked at each other, puzzled as to why Klaus was not telling the truth. Oh, okay, said Tanya, a little insecure that Klaus had left suddenly after their moment. Our story continues at Darkville Airport. Princess Alice has arrived and is talking with Customs Officer Nina Edwards. I'm finally back in Darkville, said Princess Alice with happiness. Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? Said Nina. Really, human? Said Princess Alice. Yes, I'm sure, replied Nina. Back in the Rider Cave, Dylan and Klaus continue their conversation. Dylan, what you mean? Said Klaus. I hate Tanya a lot, said Dylan. Why? Replied Klaus with disbelief. Because I still don't trust her, said Dylan. That's fine, Dylan, You're entitled to your own opinion, said Tanya, still hoping to gain Dylan's approval. Tanya? Said Dylan. Yes, teammate, she replied. There was a short pause. Get out of the rider cave now, he bellowed. Fine, said Tanya, upset with Dylan. Good, replied Dylan with his arms crossed. No, Tanya, wait, said Klaus to her rescue. Stay down here with me, he said. Klaus, if she stays, I'm out of the team, threatened Dylan. Sorry, Dylan, she stays, said Klaus. We're not best friends anymore, and I'm out of Team Rider forever, replied Dylan, disappointed in Klaus. Just leave, then, said Klaus, shaking his head and looking away. I will, said Dylan, as Bee began to leave the cave. Tanya's face suddenly changed to a sinister look. As Dylan left the cave, he passed Isik. Hello, Dylan, said the shadow. But Dylan just looked down, angrily shaking his head with his fists clenched. Hello, everybody, excitedly said the shadow. Hi, Shadow, replied Klaus, as Isaac began to take the shadow costume off. Ah, that's better, he said. Klaus looked up to see Isaac battered and bruised with a black eye. What happened to you? He said indifferently. Just a fight. You should see the other guy, said Isaac with a chuckle. Oh, by the way, Princess Alice came with me as well, said Isaac cheekily. Oh no, replied Klaus, shaking his head. I'm sorry, Klaus, said Isaac. Don't worry, it's okay, replied Klaus. So, who is Princess Alice? Barked Tanya with a sneer. She's just someone who kept sending me flowers last year. Nothing special, said Klaus. Oh, what the replied Tanya as she stormed off with tears of disbelief. Tanya, what's wrong? Said Percy without a clue. Look, it's nothing, replied Tanya, unable to contain her jealousy. Just talk to me, said Percy. Look, I'm in love with Klaus, said Tanya, finally plucking up the courage to express her feelings. Oh, okay then, said Percy, not knowing how to help. I'm okay, I'll be fine, said Tanya. Klaus, I'm here because I need to bring Troyan home, said Isaac, hiding his true intentions. Where is she? He asked. She's with Ashley Blue, said Klaus. Do you have Ashley Blue's phone number on you? Asked Isaac. Yes, I do, said Klaus as he took a phone from his shirt pocket and began to dial Ashley's number. Ashley is in her room when her mobile rings. Who is it? Asked Troyan. It's Klaus. Should I answer it? Said Ashley. Troyan nodded. Hello, Klaus, said Ashley, answering her phone. Hello, Ashley. Isaac needs to talk with Troyan right away. Is she free? Said Klaus. Yeah, sure, said Ashley Blue. Troyan, it's Isaac, said Ashley, passing her phone to her bestie. Hello, Troyan. Our queen has sent me to Earth to bring you home, said Isaac. Okay, where shall we meet? Replied Troyan. I'm leaving in 3 hours and my spaceship is parked on Darkville's soccer field, said Isaac. I will be there, said Troyan. Great! See you then, replied Isaac. What's wrong, bestie? Said Ashley as Troyan hung up the phone. I need to go home. I'm sorry, bestie, said Troyan. It's okay, said Ashley, quietly disappointed. Back in the Rider Cave, Klaus is talking with Percy. I really should phone Dylan and tell him that Troyan Summers is leaving Earth in 3 hours, said Klaus. Great idea, Klaus, replied Percy. Dylan hesitantly answered his phone. What, Klaus? He said, still bitter. Troyan Summers is leaving Earth for a few months. I thought you should know, said Klaus. Dylan hung up the phone and took his frustration out on his bedroom wall. No, he said as he slumped to his bed. Chapter 14. The Shadow. 3 hours later, after at Darkville's soccer field, Isaac is with Klaus and Percy. I'm ready to return home after months in space, said Isaac. I will miss you, Isaac, said Klaus. It was fun to be a vigilante on Earth for a while, said Isaac. Here comes Troy and Ashley and... He paused and sighed. And Dylan, said Klaus. Klaus, when you going to get it together and be friends with Dylan again? Said Percy. When he trusts Tanya, said Klaus. Hello, Klaus, said Ashley. Hi, Ashley and Troyan, replied Klaus. Hi, Klaus, said Troyan. Klaus, muttered Dylan angrily under his breath. Troyan, are you ready to go? Said Isaac. Yes, I'm ready to go home, said Troyan. Okay, let's go then, said Isaac. Bye, my Earth friends, said Troyan as waved. Bye, my bestie Troyan, said Ashley with tears in her eyes. Bye, my friends, said Klaus. Bye, my sweetheart, cried Dylan. Troyan stopped and ran back to Dylan with a passionate embrace that lasted for 2 minutes. Bye, my love, replied Troyan. Troyan, we need to go, said Isaac. I'm coming, replied Troyan, now realizing how much she would miss Dylan. Isaac's spaceship takes off and blasts into the sky with lightning speed, pulling away from Earth. A few galaxies away from Earth in Isaac's spaceship. Troyan! We're finally home, said Isaac. I can't wait until I see the Queen, said Troyan. Troyan, I have some sad news to share with you, said Isaac. What's that? Replied Troyan. The Queen is dying, said Isaac. What? Said Troyan in disbelief. The matriarch is dying from Reduopert, said Isaac. Reduopert is an incurable disease on our home planet that attacks internal organs. Oh no, replied Troyan as she wept uncontrollably. Troyan exited Isaac's spaceship, and as looked up towards the castle with a welcoming smile, she met up with Ratui. Welcome home, Troyan, he said. Thanks, it feels great to be back, said Troyan. At this stage, a familiar face walks out of the castle front door. Troyan, she exclaimed. Where have you been? She said. Vivian, it's great to see you again, my friend. I've been on another planet called Earth, said Troyan as they both embraced. That's so exciting! How cool is that? Said Vivian. Isaac shyly walks up to Vivian. How are you? He asked bashfully. I'm all right, she replied, but inside she was deeply distressed about the Queen. Vivian, where is your mother? Can I see her? Asked Troyan. Sure, let's go now. She's in her bedroom, replied Vivian. Isaac, do you want to come with us? Said Vivian. I'm so sorry. I can't come with you to see the Queen, replied Isaac. Why? Said a puzzled Vivian. I don't have time. I need to do something right now, replied Isaac, looking for a way out. Oh, okay then. See you later, Isaac, said Vivian. A few minutes later, Troyan and Vivian arrived at the Queen's room. My daughters, said the Queen, in great distress as she coughed with exhaustion. I'm here, Mother, said Princess Alice. I'm also here now, said Vivian. Hello, my Queen, it's Troyan Summers. I'm here as well, said Troyan. Where is Isaac? asked the Queen. He is very busy right now, my Queen, and could not be here, said Troyan. I'm dying. He won't see me on my deathbed. That is fine, said the Queen with disappointment. Meanwhile, in the Shadow's lair, Isaac and Ratui are together. Come on, bad guys out there, he said, looking at surveillance footage on his laptop. What are you doing? asked Ratui. Looking for someone to beat up, said Isaac. His rage over the Queen's situation was taking over his ability to rationalize. Isaac, I know someone you can hit. King Spider is back, said Ritui. Great, finally some action, said Isaac as he put on the Shadow's costume and ran out of the lair. King Spider was rampaging the city, causing all sorts of chaos. Living things on this planet give me the Queen's head, he bellowed. The Shadow quickly caught up to King Spider. No, King Spider, your reign of terror stops here, said the Shadow. I'm the ultimate badass, King Spider quipped. Leave this planet alone, Spider, said the Shadow. Fine, for now you won, but I will return in the future, months to come, said King Spider, submitting to defeat in this battle. I will be waiting for your return to my planet, said the Shadow. See you then, replied King Spider. My name is the Shadow, don't forget it, said the Shadow. Back in Darkville, Karai has mixed feelings about her upcoming mission. Master, I can't kill Tanya, she said. Get out of my eyes, replied Mr. G. Oh, okay. I will ask Klaus if I'm able to join his team to take your powers away from you forever, said Karai. I'm counting on it, said Mr. G. Bye, Mr. Badass, said Karai as she began to call Tanya. Tanya, I need to speak with Klaus right away, said Karai as Tanya answered the phone. Why? Replied Tanya. It is about Mr. G's plans for Klaus, said Karai. Can I trust you? Said Tanya. Yes, you can trust me, replied Karai. I need to go and do some hero stuff with Klaus. Bye, said Tanya. Bye, said Karai with a smile on her face as she walked into the sunset. We hear the sound of Isaac's voice saying, I'm the Shadow. Chapter 15. Media. Our story now shifts to the 9th century BC in King Aedes' bedroom. There is a knock at the door. Come in, said King Aedes. Daddy, today is my wedding day, exclaimed Medea. I know that and I don't like Jason, replied King Aedes in an antagonistic manner. Why, Daddy, replied Medea. He only just arrived here a few days ago. Are you rushing into this marriage? Said King Aedes with concern. No, I'm in love with Jason, said Medea. Are you sure you are really in love with this boy? Said King Aedes. Yes, totally, said Medea. Okay, then I'm happy for you, said King Aedes. Thanks, Daddy, said Medea with happiness and relief. I wish your mother was here to see you in her wedding dress. You look so much like her, said King Aedes. Me too. I really miss her, replied Medea. There was another knock on the door. Enter, bellowed the king. Princess, the oracle needs you to come and see her right away, said Monk Mannix. Why? Replied Medea. It is Jason, replied Monk Mannix. Medea ran to the oracle's room. Medea, you are finally here, said the oracle. Your monk told me that you need me here to talk about Jason, said Medea. Last night Jason was taken by Circe, said the oracle. Oh no, what can I do get Jason back before our wedding at sunset, said Medea distraught. You have go to the year 2514 to find someone called Klaus Reaper, said the oracle. How do I get to the year 2514? That's in the future, said a bewildered Medea. There is someone who can get you to the year 2514. Her name is Queen Pasiphae. She has magical powers, said the oracle. Really, where is she? Said Medea. In a cave outside of the city walls, said the oracle. Medea immediately ran out of the city and soon arrived at the cave. Queen Pasiphae, are you in here? Called out Medea. What do you want, child? Replied Queen Pasiphae. I want you to conjure up a traveling spell to get me to the year 2514. Please, said Medea. Fine, fine, I will help you, but you only have 1 hour and 14 before the spell is broken. Are you ready? Said Queen Pasiphae. Yes, replied Medea. Good luck, Medea, said Queen Pasiphae as she began to cast her spell. There was a bright light, and Medea was in unfamiliar surroundings. Where am I? Said Medea, who had appeared next to Karai. Hi, can you tell me what year is it? Said Medea. It is 2514. What, are you lost or something? Asked Karai. Yes, but I'm looking for someone called Klaus Reaper, said Medea. I know Klaus Reaper, said Karai. Great! What a coincidence! Where is he? Said Medea. Why? Said Karai. I need his help to find my fiancé. He was taken by an enchanted sorceress, said Medea. Hold on a sec. I'll phone Klaus's girlfriend, said Karai. Is that Lilith? Said Medea. No, Tanya English, said Karai. Huh? Replied Medea. Why would you say Lilith is Klaus's girlfriend? Said Karai. Klaus going to marry Lilith in the future, replied Medea. Really? And I'm Karai Manson, said Karai. Really? Said Medea. That will be my fate? Asked Karai. Yes, and you will be Klaus's girlfriend soon in few years' time, then later wife, said Medea. Really? Replied Karai more puzzled. Yes, and my time talking to you is now at an end, said Medea, worried that she may have now affected future events. Tanya answers her phone. Hi, Tanya, said Karai. What now? Said Tanya, frustrated. A princess is with me, and she wants to talk to Klaus right away. Do you know where he is? Said Karai. He is in the Rider Cave, replied Tanya. Where is the Rider Cave? Asked Karai. I can't tell you where it is, sorry. I will phone Klaus and ask you to meet you at his house, said Tanya. Thanks, old friend, said Karai. Where is Klaus Reaper? Asked Medea. We will meet him at his house, said Karai. Half an hour later, they arrived at Klaus's residence. Mrs. Reaper greeted them at the door. Hello, girls! How can I help you? She said. We are looking for your son, said Karai. Klaus, said Mrs. Reaper, calling out in the direction of upstairs. You have guests at the front door, said Mrs. Reaper. I will be down in a minute, mother, replied Klaus. Girls, do you want anything to drink while you wait? Said Mrs. Reaper. Yes, water please, said Karai. I'll have the same, thanks, said Medea. As Klaus entered the room, he caught sight of Karai and became enraged. Karai Manson! He yelled, as he drew his scythe from behind his shoulder, ready to attack. Take it easy. I'm not here to hurt you, said Karai. Why are you here then? Said Klaus. The princess needs your help to find her fiancé before sunset, said Karai. What is your name? Said Klaus. My name is Medea, and I'm the daughter of King Hades, said Medea as Mrs. Reaper brought in their drinks. You're joking, aren't you? Replied Klaus, thinking Karai was up to something sinister. No, really, it's true. I'm a time traveler from the past, and in my era, my fiancé was taken by my aunt. She's an evil sorceress. You're the only one who can help me, pleaded Medea. Yes, I will help to find your fiancé. I just need to make a phone call, said Klaus. Thank you, Klaus Reaper, replied Medea. Karai, Klaus is calling Percy Reed, a.k.a. Red Bomb Rocket, said Medea, hopeful that Klaus will be able to help. Percy, we are going to time travel back to the 9th century B.C., said Klaus. When? Replied Percy. Right now, said Klaus. Okay, where will I meet you? Said Percy. Hang on. Hey, Medea, where is the place you entered into our time zone? said Klaus. Outside of Darkville's wedding cake store, said Karai. Thanks, Karai. Percy, you meet me at Darkville's wedding cake store, said Klaus. Okay, see you there, bye, replied Percy. Are you ready to go yet? Said Medea. Yes, and Karai is coming with us as well, said Klaus. Really? Said Medea, confused as to why Klaus would want to bring an enemy on the mission. 10 minutes later, they arrived outside of Darkville's wedding cake store. Karai on the good guy's side now, said Klaus with an element of worry. I'm very sorry I hurt you a few weeks back, said Karai. It's okay, said Percy regretfully. Queen Pasiphae, I'm ready to return home, said Medea. A large vortex appeared, and they were transported back in time. Is everybody okay? Asked Medea. They all nodded their heads, slowly adjusting to the experience. Welcome to the 9th century, said Queen Pasiphae. Chapter 16. There's only one way back. 1 hour later, they were all walking through the Black Forest. Medea, how do you know that I will be marrying Klaus in the future? Said Karai. Before I came to your time, I went to meet the Oracle. She has the power to detect life both in the future and past. Oh, okay, replied Karai. Hey, Percy, have you spoken to Tanya in the last few days? Said Klaus. She's not talking to me anymore, he said with dismay. Oh, okay, said Percy, not knowing how to console his friend. We continue our story in the Cave of Magic, where Jason is being held captive. Let me out of here, said Jason. I can't let you out, replied Circe. You will pay for this, said Jason. No, I won't, cheekily replied Circe. You are going to marry Medea in a few hours, said Circe. I know that, said Jason. Circe walked off smiling. Get back here, Circe, yelled Jason, feeling hopeless. We hear the thuds of the door closing as Circe leaves Jason captive. We return to the rescuers. We will camp here for a while, said Klaus. My ankles are hurting, replied Percy. Take off your boots then, said Medea, with a decisive lack of sympathy. Okay, replied Percy, regretting sharing his feelings. Actually, your ankles are very red, said Klaus, concerned. You will have to go on without me, selflessly, said Percy, concerned with the mission. He is right. Percy will slow us down to find Jason, said Medea. Are you okay that we carry on without you? Said Klaus. Yes, replied Percy. Okay then, said Klaus. Let's go, eagerly replied Medea. Percy, don't go anywhere. Okay, said Klaus. I won't, replied Percy. Klaus, come on, said Karai, sensing the urgency of the mission. I'm coming, replied Klaus. Meanwhile, in King Aedes' room, there is a knock on the door. Come in, said King Aedes. My king, you asked for me? Said Monk Mannix. Yes, I did. Does the oracle know where my daughter is? Said King Aedes. Yes, replied Monk Mannix. Good. That is all, replied King Aedes. Back to the gang! We are here, Circe, said Medea. Well, 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 beautiful Medea, taunted Circe. Circe, replied Medea with acknowledgement. I've got your future husband in chains, badgered Circe. Give him back, pleaded Medea, as she desperately gestured towards herself. Hang on, I know you from somewhere, inquisitively said Karai. I don't know you, said Circe. Jason! Exclaimed Medea, trying to locate her fiancé. Back to Jason's cell, he hears a voice, and a goddess-like figure appears. Hello, Jason, said Freyja. Who's there? Asked Jason. Down here at the sewer, water's edge. I can get you out of here, said Freya. How? Replied Jason, feeling helpless. With my water power, you dumbass, she jokingly said. The chains around his wrists began to freeze, turning into ice, and then snapped. My name is Freyja, she said. Thanks, Freya, said a relieved Jason, glad to be free of the shackles that encased his wrists. You are welcome, replied Freya. At that stage, Circe re-enters the cell. Circe, you said an enraged Jason as he chased after her. What the hell? Said Circe, puzzled that Jason had escaped. Jason! Exclaimed Medea. Medea! Replied Jason happily. They then both embraced. Jason, said Circe. Jason, said Klaus. What? Said Jason. Catch this, said Klaus. What is this? Said Jason. A rocket bomb. Push the yellow spot, said Klaus. Here we go, said Jason as he threw the bomb. There was a massive explosion. Jason, said Medea. Yes, sweetheart, replied Jason through the smoke-filled room. You just killed Circe, said Medea. I know, celebrated Jason. The smoke clears, and Klaus looks around, and Percy cannot be seen anywhere. Percy! Percy, where are you? He shouted in horror, running in the direction he was last seen. Klaus! What is it? Exclaimed Karai. It's Percy! He's missing! Replied Klaus. Percy! Yelled Karai. A few seconds later, Medea is thanking her new friends for their help. Medea! Let's get to our wedding before sunset, said a relieved Jason. What about us? How are we getting back to 2514? Said Klaus, frightened of the prospect of being stuck in the past.
You're staring again. Makes me feel all warm inside. This mask, it smiles for me when I'm busy. Don't worry, I'll be quick, probably. You're staring again. Makes me feel all warm inside. This mask, it smiles for me when I'm busy. Don't worry, I'll be quick, probably.
There's only one way back to your time, through Freya's help, replied Jason. Ah, the Lady of the Lake, said Karai. Yes, that is her, replied Jason. They then set off on a 2-hour journey to find her. Upon arriving at the lake, they heard a voice. Welcome to my lake, said Freya. We have lost our good friend Percy. Do you know where he is? He asked Klaus. He is safe, said Freya. Great, we would all like to go home now, said a relieved Klaus. Jump in the lake, said Freya. Immediately they were taken to another time continuum. This place does not look like 2514 to me, said a confused Karai. We are in Camelot, Karai, said Klaus, as they both looked puzzled at each other. Chapter 17. Camelot? Our story continues 10 minutes later behind the castle walls of Camelot. Xenophon, said Merlin. Yes, Merlin, replied Xenophon. It has been 10 years without King Arthur, said Merlin. Yes, I know, Merlin, replied Xenophon. He was a good king, said Merlin with regret. A better king than Arthur's father was, replied Xenophon. Klaus and Karai approached them both. Excuse me, we are looking for our friend Percy, said Klaus. Xenophon and Merlin looked to each other. Who are you pair? Said Merlin, unsure of the new arrivals. My name is Klaus Reaper, and this is Karai Manson. Freyja, the Lady of the Lake, said he was in Camelot, said Klaus. What does this Percy look like? Inquired Merlin. Percy has a red top and pants, said Klaus. And he has red ankles, interjected Karai. I know the person that you're looking for. Come with us to see him, said Xenophon. Where did you come from? Said Merlin, unsure of the new guests. We've traveled from the future time 2514, said Karai. Klaus nudged Karai. She gets crazy sometimes, he said, trying to protect the timeline. Oh, okay then, said Merlin, thinking they were both slightly not there. We know that you have magic powers, Merlin, said Klaus. How? Said a confused Merlin. I'm the only son of the Grim Reaper, and my father knew all of the secrets in the world, said Klaus. Your father is the Death? Said Merlin apprehensively. Yes, he is, said Klaus. The Grim Reaper is dead, said Karai, again putting jeopardy in the timeline. She received another jab in the arm from Klaus. How? Replied Merlin. A powerful man killed him last year, before Halloween night, said Karai, still unaware that every word she said was affecting the future. Klaus quickly took off his shirt and muffled her voice. She rolled her eyes. I'm so sorry for your loss, said Merlin. It's been hard without him, said Klaus, regretfully having to continue with the story. Merlin, said Karai. Yes, girl, replied Merlin. Where is King Arthur? Asked Karai. He is dead, said Merlin. How long? Replied Klaus. It has been 10 years to date, said Merlin with dismay. What about Queen Gwen? Asked Karai. She is out of Camelot right now, said Merlin. They continue walking and enter the hospital room and see a familiar face. Percy, how are you feeling? Exclaimed Klaus with relief. Better now. How did you make it to Camelot? Said Percy. The Lady of the Lake and you? Replied Klaus. By Morgan, said Percy. Why did Morgan help you? Asked Klaus. I don't know, but I'm glad to be alive, said Percy. Xenophon, I'm going to see Morgan now, said Merlin. Why? Replied Xenophon. Because she helped Percy with his ankles, said Merlin. Be careful, Merlin, replied Xenophon. I will, said Merlin. Merlin rides out of Camelot on a horse galloping into dusk. Guys, you have to leave Camelot, said Xenophon. And go where? Replied Klaus. Back to the future, said Xenophon. How? Asked Karai. In the magical cave. There is a ring of time, said Xenophon. Let's go back to the future, said Percy. It's time, Klaus, said Karai. Yes, it's time to go back, said Klaus. 30 minutes later, Xenophon was preparing for the arrivals to leave. I'll pack a few things for you and your friends on your mission to get back to the future, he said. Thank you, Xenophon, said Klaus. You are welcome, young travelers, said Xenophon. Let's go teammates, said Klaus. Bye, Xenophon, said Karai. Bye, my new friends, said Xenophon. I'll jump on a few horses and ride away from Camelot. Percy, what do you think Tanya has been up to while we were gone? Said Klaus. Doing our homework, replied Percy. Klaus, when we get back to 2514, can I be part of your team still? Said Karai. I will see about that, said Klaus. Okay, replied Karai hopefully. It began to rain. I hate the rain, said Klaus. There is a cave over there, said Percy, pointing to the east. Klaus and Karai carry Percy into the cave to stay dry till the rain stops. There is a voice. Who goes there? It said. My friend is hurt, said Klaus with concern. I don't care. You are forbidden from entering my cave, said the voice. Mordred, said Klaus. How did you know my name? said the voice. 10 years ago, you killed Arthur Pendragon, said Klaus confidently. A man comes out from the shadows. How did you know that? Replied Mordred. My father told me that, said Klaus. Who is your father? Asked Mordred. My father was the Grim Reaper before he passed last year, said Klaus. Klaus, said Mordred with excitement. How did you know who I am? Replied Klaus, bewildered by what he just heard. I'm your half-brother Klaus, replied Mordred. Meanwhile, in the Forest of Death Magic, Merlin is looking for Morgan Le Fay. Morgan, I know you are in here. Show yourself immediately, he said. A beautiful sorceress appeared from behind a large flowing oak tree with a massive trunk. Hello, Merlin, said Morgan. Chapter 18. The Ring of Time. It's been a long time, said Merlin. 9 years to date, and what are you doing in my magical forest? Said Morgan Le Fay. You helped a boy with red ankles, said Merlin. So what? I helped him? What's that to you? Teased Morgan Le Fay. You are a mad and evil witch. Why would you help an innocent person? Said Merlin. That's hurtful. Merlin, replied Morgan Le Fay. The truth cuts deep, doesn't it, babe? Said Merlin with a wry smile. Meanwhile, in the cave, Klaus and Mordred continue to catch up. You are family? Said Klaus. Yes, I am, replied Mordred. Can you help my friend? Said Klaus. Yes, I will help you, but I'd like to go with you to the future in exchange. Do we have a deal, Klaus? Said Mordred hopefully. Yes, we have a deal, said Klaus as they shook hands. Bring your friend to me right away, said Mordred. We need the Ring of Time to go back to the future, said Klaus. I have it. Now hurry up, said Mordred. Karai, bring Percy over here now, said Klaus. Okay, replied Karai as she left the cave to get Percy. A few minutes later, Karai arrived back with Percy on horseback. Percy, this is going to be painful, said Mordred. Percy began to scream in anguish as Mordred used his magical powers. After 5 minutes of torture, Mordred said, I'm finished healing your ankles. Thanks, replied Klaus. You are welcome, said Mordred. How are you feeling now, Percy? Said Karai. Like a new man, said Percy, relieved. That's good to hear, said Klaus. Young travelers, are you ready to go home? Said Mordred. All three replied. Yes, hold on to the ring, said Mordred. A blinging light appeared, and again they were traveling in time. Soon after they had arrived at their new destination, but the surroundings were unfamiliar. This is not our own time, said Klaus with frustration. I think that we are in the 15th century, said Percy, slightly bewildered. I love the clothes that in this time period, said Karai. We will try again, said Mordred. They all gathered around the ring, and the bright light again appeared. This time they were transported to the year 2046. Are we in right time period? Asked Mordred. Nope, said Karai, wondering if they would ever make it back to their own time. This is what our past was like, said Percy. Can we stay here a while and look around for us in the past? Hey, asked Klaus, enjoying the experience. No, that is a bad idea, Klaus, blared Mordred. Oh, come on, please, replied Klaus. No, hold on to the ring again, said Mordred, and the light again reappeared. They were then transported back to ancient Egypt. They were faced with a boy sitting on a golden throne with wheels. Who are you? Bellowed the boy, who was equally in shock of their arrival. My name is Klaus Reaper. Who are you? Asked Klaus. Klaus Reaper, son of the Grim Reaper. I am King Tutankhamun. My friends call me King Tut for short. Yes, my father was the Grim Reaper, replied Klaus. It has been a long time since we last saw each other, said King Tut. I can't remember you. Sorry, replied Klaus. It's okay. You were only 4 years old at the time, said King Tut. Klaus, it's time to go, said Mordred. Yes, bye, your highness, said Klaus. Goodbye. I will see you soon, said King Tut. What does that mean? Replied a puzzled Klaus. Again, a massive light appeared and they were transported to the year 2,524 inches, one of possible futures in the 175th Den Galaxy. There's a trial in place for Isaac Martin. To keep his honesty, the court is using a polygraph machine to detect any waving movements. This court in order, Isaac Martin, said Queen Vivian in the year 2524. What did I do to offend you, my queen? Asked Isaac Martin from the year 2524. You are the vigilante known as the Shadow, said Queen Vivian sternly. I'm not the vigilante known as the Shadow, replied Isaac. The polygraph machine slightly wavers. Poor Isaac, said Klaus with pity, trying to remain hidden to preserve the timeline. Where's your lawyer, Isaac? Said Queen Vivian as she strikes the sound block with her gavel. There is a voice from the back of the courtroom as the door opens. I'm sorry, sweetheart, for running late, said Klaus Reaper from the year 2524. That's okay, said Queen Vivian. Klaus turns to Mordred, Percy, and Karai with a surprised look on his face and passes out due to shock. I will be Isaac's lawyer for next year, said Klaus Reaper from the year 2524. I'm glad that you are here, said Isaac Martin. Karai slaps Klaus in the face to wake him up. Everyone hold on to the ring again, said Mordred. After the bright light, they were transported to the year 1,444 inches, another foreign place. Where are we? Said Karai, again surprised, falling over in the path of an oncoming horse and carriage. The coachwoman signals the horse by cracking her whip, causing the horse to rear up and quickly come to a halt. Why have we stopped? Said a voice from the carriage. These new visitors just appeared from nowhere, my lord. I had to quickly halt to avoid them, replied the coachwoman. I understand. Welcome to Transylvania, said Vlad the Impaler. Are you Dracula? Said Klaus Reaper. Yes, I am. And who are you? Replied Vlad the Impaler. My name is Klaus Reaper, son of the Grim Reaper, said Klaus. Get away from me, said Vlad the Impaler with immense fear in his voice. Why? Replied Klaus. Your father killed my very old father a few years ago, painfully replied Vlad the Impaler. I'm so sorry, replied Klaus. We need to go now, Klaus, said Percy Reed with urgency. Yes, said Klaus. A bright light again followed, and they were finally home. Are we back in 2514? Asked Percy hopefully. I think so, replied Karai. Klaus sees a familiar face. Hey, girl, he said welcomingly. Who are you, Tommy or Klaus? Said Tanya confused. Tanya, it's Klaus. And who is Tommy? Replied Klaus. Nobody, where have you been for last 3 hours? Asked Tanya. What do you mean by 3 hours? We have been gone for a few weeks, not 3 hours, said Klaus. Klaus, why is Karai with you? Asked Tanya. She was helping us on a mission from the past, replied Klaus. Oh, said Tanya acceptingly. Hi, Tanya. My name is Mordred, said Mordred as she raised her hand. They both shook hands. Chapter 19. While you were away. At Mr. G. Secret Lab. Tanya is seeking out Mr. G. My old master, are you in here? She called out. What are you doing in here? said Drew Waters. What does it look like? I'm looking for Mr. G, you dumbass, she said, rolling her eyes. He's not here right now, replied Drew. Oh, okay then. What's in the tube over there? Said Tanya. Mr. G's next project for your boyfriend Klaus Reaper, said Drew. Can I look at the project? Asked Tanya. Nope, said Drew, guarding the life-size tube. Please, said Tanya, picking up a chair. She then struck him with it and went to knock him out. Tanya! Cried Drew as the blow sent him to the ground. Tanya walked over to the tube and wiped her hand on it to clear the condensation to look inside. Klaus, she said hopefully. Drew stood up and said, Step away from that tube now. Why, Klaus is in this tube, said Tanya protectively. That is not Klaus in there, said Drew. Who is it then? Asked Tanya. Klaus Reaper's clone, and his name is Tommy Reaper, replied Drew. The tube then opened. Hello, said Tommy Reaper. Hello, my name is Tanya English, said Tanya. Hello, Tanya English, said Tommy. Hello, Tommy, said Tanya, amazed at the similarities. Meanwhile, at the mall, wow, this dress is too much for me to buy, said Ashley Blue. Nice dress, said Harley Argent, walking by. Harley, what are you doing in Darkville? Said Ashley. I'm looking for Klaus Reaper, replied Harley. Why? Replied Ashley. Because my mother is missing, said Harley. I'm so sorry to hear that, said Ashley. Do you know where Klaus is? Asked Harley. No, I have not seen him few days, replied Ashley. When you see him next, tell him to call me. I'm staying in Darkville a while, said Harley. Over there next to the ice cream shop, said Ashley as she pointed in that direction. Who is that? Replied Harley. That is Klaus's former best friend, replied Ashley. Okay, replied Harley. I really want this dress, said Ashley longingly. I will buy it for you, said Harley. Really? Said Ashley Blue, surprised. I'm our richest girl in Darkville. Money is no object. Yes, I want this dress, squealed Ashley with excitement. I will buy it for you right now. Let's do this, said Harley. Thanks, girlfriend. You're the best, said Ashley. Only one dress, Miss Argent? Said Nina Edwards, the shopkeeper. This dress is not for me. It's for my friend Ashley, said Harley as she nudged Ashley. That'll be $345, thank you, said Nina. Here you go, said Harley as she handed Nina over her credit card. Have a nice day, said Nina as the two left the store. Harley then passed the dress over to Ashley, and they smiled at each other. 20 minutes later, outside of the Rider Cave, Dylan was knocking at the hidden entrance. Klaus, are you in there? He said. Dylan then entered the password to the cave. Hello, old teammates. Anybody home? He said. Dylan, what are you doing in here? Said Tanya. Looking for Klaus to say I'm sorry, said Dylan. He's not here right now, replied Tanya. Oh, where is he? Asked Dylan. I don't know Dylan, said Tanya. I want to return in the Team Rider so badly, said Dylan. Ah, cooled off now, have you? Said Tanya in teasing manner. Then welcome back, she said. I'm so sorry for the past few weeks, said Dylan regretfully. It's okay, Dylan. Don't stress, replied Tanya. Great. What's the mission this week? Said Dylan eagerly. Mr. G made a clone of Klaus. We need to locate him. How did he do that? Asked Dylan. We don't know yet, replied Tanya. Let me find him for you, said Dylan as he hacked into Area 50, one satellite communication system. 12 minutes later, he had eyes on Darkville. There he is at the cake store downtown, said Dylan. Great! I will get him, said Tanya. I'm coming with you, said Dylan. No, Dylan, I need you here to do your job on this team. Your strength is in hacking. Okay, no problems, said Dylan. At Darkville Airport, Maya has just returned. Maya, over here, said Ashley, waving her hands excitedly. Ashley, said Maya as she slapped her in the face. The emotion quickly turned to forgiveness as they both hugged. How you been? Said Ashley. All right, where's Tanya? Asked Ashley. She is with your ex-boyfriend Klaus, replied Ashley in a mocking manner. What? Replied Maya, firing up, elbowing the passenger window. Glass shattered everywhere, and the shards cut Maya's palm. She is in love with him, said Ashley. No, I'm still in love with Klaus, said Maya, infuriated. Really? I had no idea, said Ashley. Maya spotted Ashley's new dress and ripped it up to use as a bandage to stop the blood flow. That was my new dress, you screamed Ashley. Now it's wrecked, she said. At this stage, Maya temporarily passed out from either shock or blood loss. She soon woke up. Tanya is at Klaus's house now, said Ashley Blue. I want to see Klaus right away, said Maya. We will stop at Klaus's house first, said Ashley Blue. Great, let's go then, said Maya, eager to get to the bottom of this. Meanwhile, on Main Street, Tanya and Dylan are in pursuit of the Klaus clone. Dylan, where is he? Impatiently said Tanya. I don't know, Tanya, replied Dylan. Find him now, said Tanya. She then felt a tap on her right shoulder and turned around. Is this Tommy or Klaus? She said, confused. Chapter 20. The Vortex. A few hours later in the Rider Cave, Dylan has caught up with Klaus. Dylan, what are you doing in here? Angrily said Klaus. I'm here to say I'm sorry for a few weeks ago, replied Dylan. I knew it, that you will be coming back on your terms, said Klaus. I came back only because you'll need my hacking skills, said Dylan. For what reason? Replied Klaus. Yesterday, I found out that Harry's father completed his vortex into people minds, said Dylan. How you did find out about it, said Klaus. My sister is working for him, said Dylan. Tanya, can you find it? Said Klaus. I've already been on it for the past few hours. Unfortunately, no luck, she said. Keep trying to find it, and rest of us will talk to your sister, said Klaus. That's good idea, Klaus, said Dylan. Meanwhile, at Klaus's house, Maya Whitemore is madly knocking on the front door. Klaus, 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 she called out in desperation. Maya, said Ashley Blue. What? Replied Maya in frustration. I think that nobody is home, said Ashley. Maybe you're right, replied Maya as she ceased knocking. To their surprise, the front door opened. Hello, Maya and Ashley, said Kate Reaper. Hi, Mrs. Reaper, said Maya. Call me Kate. Come in you want to, said Kate. Thanks, Kate, replied Maya. Soon after, Klaus and Dylan arrived at Dylan's family house. Hey, sister, we want to talk with you now, said Dylan. What is it, little brother of mine? Said Tammin Jones. It is about Mr. Knight's vortex, said Dylan. Yes, she said. Where is it? Said Dylan. I'm not telling you, replied Tammin firmly. Talk, or I will kill you. It's your choice, said Klaus as he removed his scythe. Okay, I'll talk, said Tammin, cowering, scared for her life. Where is it? Said Klaus as he raised it to her throat. It's at his house, said Tammin. Thanks, said Klaus, saluting with positivity. Karai then proceeded to knock Tammin out with a swift punch to the head. Karai, Why did you knock my sister out? Said an astonished Dylan. Because she was going to call Harry's father to hide the vortex from us, said Karai. Good job, Karai, said Percy. Thanks, Percy, said Karai. Let's go back to the Rider Cave to regroup, said Klaus. Good idea. Let's go, said Percy as they made their way back. Meanwhile, at Souls, the local bar, Harley is letting off steam. Hit me again, she said as she slammed her glass into the bar. Are you sure? Replied Greg, the bartender. Yes, I'm sure, do it, she replied. Okay, one more ash volcano for you, said Greg. Wow, said Harley slightly Dixie after the effects of the alcohol. A water for me, please, said Mordred. One water for you, replied Greg. Thanks, replied Mordred. Later, after dusk outside Knight's World, Klaus said, There, as he pointed. The vortex, said the brown cat. What's the plan, Klaus? Said Red Bomb Rocket. To shut down that vortex, said Klaus. Dylan, who just appeared out of nowhere, said, How? Dylan, what are you doing here? Said Klaus. I used my sister's ID card to get past security, said Dylan. Good job, Dylan, replied Klaus. Let's go, guys. Oh, and Tanya, said Red Bomb Rocket. The team made their way to the front door. We are in, said Dylan happily. Good, said Klaus. Meanwhile, at Darkville's Hotel in room 1890, Ashley and Maya are hungry. What's for dinner, Maya? Said Ashley. Dragon's heart, said Maya. The last time I had it, I was only 4 years old, said Ashley. Well, tonight you will have it again. There was a knock at the door. Someone's at the door, said Ashley lazily. Well, go on. Answer it, said Maya. Fine, replied Ashley, rolling her eyes. 3 eggs and mix well, said Maya jokingly. As Ashley opened the door, she said, Harley! My old friend, slurred Harley as she staggered around. Are you drunk? Said Ashley. Yes, I am, said Harley, struggling to stay upright. How much alcohol did you have? Said Ashley, concerned with her friend's welfare. 20 to 35 drinks. I lost count. I had so many, replied Harley. Lay down here, said Ashley as she directed Harley to the nearest couch. Okay, muffled Harley as she flopped down. Get her out of here now, shouted Maya with rage. Why? Said Ashley. She was Klaus's first girlfriend, said Maya with jealousy. This is my hotel room. I say she is staying the night, said Ashley. Fine, replied Maya. Klaus, said Maya as she passed out. Back in Knight's World, the boys are again next to Vortex. This thing is big, said Klaus in awe of the Vortex. Don't touch anything on the Vortex, said Dylan. Why? Said the brown cat. You will be trapped in someone's mind, said Dylan with concern. Cool, said Red Bomb Rocket, pushing everything on the Vortex. Rocket! Stop pushing everything, said Dylan. Oh no, Cat, Dylan, hold on to my arm, said Klaus. We need to shut this down, said Red Bomb Rocket. You are right, Rocket, said Klaus. Suddenly, there was a burst of lightning through the vortex that struck Klaus in the forehead. He instantly fell to the ground. Klaus! Cried the brown cat with worry. The vortex then sucked the brown cat and Dylan back into its field and closed in an instant. No! Yelled Klaus as they disappeared from sight. At other side of the vortex, Dylan and Cat stand up after being flung to the ground. Where are we now? Said Dylan. I don't know, replied the brown cat. Over there's Klaus, said Dylan. Klaus? That's not Klaus, said the brown cat. Buddy, said Dylan, still calling out to who he believed was Klaus. In front of them were two carbon copies of Klaus, one good and the other evil. I will win this fight, said the evil copy. No, I will, said the good copy. Dylan, said the brown cat. What? Replied Dylan, perplexed. I think that we are in Klaus's mind, said the brown cat. Chapter 21. Inside of me. We are in my best friend's mind. Cool, said Dylan, intrigued. How do we get back to the normal world? Said the brown cat. I don't know, said Dylan. The only thing we can do now is to start walking and looking for answers, said the brown cat. Good idea, replied Dylan as they both set off. They spotted what appeared to be a large version of the brown cat. What was that? Said the brown cat. I don't want to stick around to find out, said Dylan. All of a sudden, a glaring of cats appeared. They're only cats. Why is this happening? Said the brown cat. Hey, cat, said Dylan. What, Dylan? Replied the brown cat. Turn around, said Dylan. As the brown cat turned around, she noticed that the amount of cats had tripled and were quickly drawing nearer, hunched over, stalking them like prey. Oh, replied the brown cat with worry. Cat, run! Screamed Dylan, and they ran for their lives. With imminent death approaching, the big cats continued the chase. The brown cat again screamed out. Turn around! Dylan turned around and saw that they were being outrun. He continued to run, screaming for his life. Come on, run faster! At this moment, they heard a loud voice. Leave my friends alone, big cats, bellowed the human, who looked exactly like Klaus. No, kill them now, taunted an identical human known as the Killer. We are going with the human side of Klaus, not going with the killer side of Klaus. Dion said to the team. Good choice, my friends, said the human. No, come with me, my friends, said the killer. I have control over the cats. Not willing to believe the killer is the brown cat, and Dylan sided with the human. Be gone, my evil side, said the human as he banished the evil clone. The killer then disappeared, taking refuge in his hideout. Right, confidently said the human was. He clapped his hands together. Wow, hot, said brown cat, smitten with her hero. What cat? Said the human. Oh, don't worry, it's nothing, said the brown cat, slightly embarrassed. Meanwhile, in the normal world, a familiar family member has arrived at the English residence. Tanya, are you in there? Gretchen English, her older sister said as she began to knock. Gretchen, said Mrs. English, blindsided. Hello, Mother, replied Gretchen indifferently. What are you doing in Darkville? Said Mrs. English. I just moved here, replied Gretchen. But why? Queried Mrs. English. To see my little sister, and where is she? Said Gretchen. Tanya is with her friends, said Mrs. English. Tanya made friends already? Said Gretchen with a smile. Yes, my daughter, replied Mrs. English. I'd like to meet them, said Gretchen. Gretchen, don't do something stupid to your sister again, said Mrs. English. Why would I do that? Angrily replied Gretchen. Good! Tanya is with her crush, said Mrs. English. What is his name? Quizzed Gretchen. I don't know, she won't tell me, said Mrs. English. Oh, okay then, replied Gretchen. As we return to Klaus's mind, Dylan is questioning the human. What is that? He said. That is a supernatural vortex, and the evil side of Klaus wants to open it to send everything to the normal day world, replied the human. That evil prick, said the brown cat with rage. I know, right? That's why we were fighting about it before, replied the human. Oh, okay, said the brown cat. Who is that near the supernatural vortex? Asked Dylan. Stay here. I'll check it out, said the human. We could help you with Klaus's evil side, replied the brown cat. No, you can't help me with the killer, said the human. Why? Said the brown cat. It is a full moon tonight, said the human. What do you mean by that? Replied Dylan. Klaus's grandmother is half demon, so he is able to access those powers. Every full moon they become enhanced, said the human. Wow, said Dylan, freaked out. The evil side of Klaus is near the supernatural vortex, said the brown cat with concern. Hey, the killer! Step away from the vortex, said the human. No, replied the killer as he pushed the door open. No, yelled the human as he became angry. Dylan and the brown cat continued to watch from a distance. My friends, you must go to the door number 2, he said, calling out to them. I can see it, replied Dylan, as both he and the brown cat began to run to the door. Bye, human side of my best friend in life, said Dylan as they entered the vortex. Bye, my friends, said the human as they disappeared from his sight. Dylan and the brown cat reappeared back in Night's world in the same place they were swept away from. Klaus is late. You should go home to catch some sleep, said Red Bomb Rocket. Nope, Rocket. I'm not going home without my best friend Dylan, replied Klaus. The vortex suddenly reopened. Klaus! Exclaimed Dylan with relief. Dylan, where you been? Asked Klaus. Inside your mind, Klaus, said the brown cat. You were in my mind? Replied Klaus. Klaus and Dylan hugged each other, happy to be reunited. Yes, we were, and it's pretty messed up in there, said Dylan. Okay then, replied Klaus, slightly bewildered. Team, we have to go now, said Red Bomb Rocket, eager to get a move on. I have the bomb to destroy the vortex. Ha ha ha, sniggered Klaus, feeling pretty happy with himself. Suddenly, the killer reappeared behind Klaus. Klaus? Said Dylan, with a sense of urgency. Behind you. Klaus turned around to see what behind him, and quickly moved to his left to avoid a sucker punch. From the killer! Not again, said Klaus, rolling his eyes with exasperation. I'm glad to get out of your mind again, said the killer, smiling with sinister delight. Chapter 22. Girls' Night Out. 3 days later our story continues in the Rider Cave. No word about your evil side, Klaus, said Tanya. He is out there somewhere, said Klaus with concern. Hey, Tanya, it's girls' night out tonight, said Karai. Tonight is girls' night out again? Questioned Tanya. Yes, replied Karai with eager anticipation. I can't go out with you tonight, said Tanya, disappointed. Why? Replied Karai. I'm too busy to go. I have to find evil side of Klaus. There's a lot of CCTV camera footage to get through, said Tanya. Tanya, I will take over for you. Go and enjoy your girls' night out, said Dylan. Are you sure? Said Tanya. Yes, I'm sure, Tanya. Have a great time, said Dylan. Thank you, Dylan, said Tanya. Red Bomb Rocket then entered the cave. I checked all the streets in Darkville, and there was no sign of your evil side anywhere, said Red Bomb Rocket, exhausted. Okay, see you all tomorrow, said Tanya. Go already, will you, said Klaus, ushering Tanya away. Tanya and Karai exited out of the Rider Cave to enjoy their night out. Meanwhile, Ashley and Maya also are getting ready. I'm putting my dress on, said Maya. Where are you off to? Said Harley, munching down on her favorite ice cream. We are going to have a night out with our girlfriends, said Ashley. That sounds great! Please can I come too? Asked Harley. No! You can't come with us, said Maya angrily. Why not? Replied Ashley. why she can't come with us, said Maya, urging Ashley on. That? Said Ashley. Yes, that, said Maya. Harley, you are coming with us, said Ashley Blue. Really? Thank you, said Harley excitedly. She has nothing to wear, said Maya, showing her obvious displeasure. She can borrow one of my dresses, said Ashley, not reading Maya's signals. Thanks again, Ashley, said Harley. My room is on right side of the hallway. Have a look through what I have Feel free to pick out anything you want, said Ashley. 10 minutes later, Ashley approached her room to check up on Harley. Harley, are you dressed? Said Ashley, knocking on the door. Yes, Ashley, come on in, replied Harley. How do I look? Said Harley, doing a full pirouette. You look nice in that dress, said Ashley with a smile. Aw, thanks, said Harley. A voice was heard from down the hall. Let's go, we are late, said Maya, annoyed. We are coming now, said Ashley. Finally, said Maya, with her arms crossed and foot tapping. The left the house, and 45 minutes later, arrived at the only girls allowed bar. We are waiting for Maya and Ashley, said Tanya impatiently. Calm down, little sister, said Gretchen, patting Tanya on the back, trying to ease her worry. I can see them over there, said Karai. Finally, said Tanya with frustration. Who is that with Ashley and Maya? Said Gretchen. I don't know, Gretchen, replied Tanya. I'm sorry for getting here late, said Ashley. It is all right, Ashley, replied Tanya. I'm freezing out here, said Gretchen, arms folded, rubbing her shoulders. Let's go inside to get warm, said Karai. All of the girls walked inside the bar to the electronic sounds of a DJ playing latest dance music. What is your name, miss? Said Gretchen. My name is Harley Argent, replied Harley. It is nice to meet you, Harley, said Gretchen. And you too, replied Harley. Hurry up, girls, said Tanya, moving ahead. We are coming, little sister, said Gretchen as the rest of the girls entered the venue. Wow, this bar is pretty, said Harley in awe of her surroundings. Welcome to Only Girls Allowed Bar, said Olivia, who greeted them upon their arrival. A table for 6, please, said Tanya. Come this way to your table. Here it is, said Olivia, gesturing the right. I will be back in a minute to take your order. Olivia walked off, leaving the girls time to order from the menu. The all-star salad sounds good, said Karai. I will order the new type of pizza they made. It's called the Earth's Crust, said Tanya. A short time later, Olivia returned. Girls, are you ready to order? Said Olivia. Yes, can I have the red meat dog? Said Harley. Can I have the Earth's Crust pizza? Said Tanya. For me, the all-star salad, please, said Karai. The all-star salad, too, replied Ashley. The deathly fish, please, said Maya. The dragon's meal for me, said Gretchen. Your meals will be ready in 20 minutes, said Olivia, as another waitress approached the table. My name is Anna. Tonight, I will get your drinks. What would you like? She said. We want a jug of water, please, said Karai. Coming right up, said Anna, and she approached the bar. What we will talk about? Asked Karai, eager to kick the night off with a good catch-up. I don't know, Karai, replied Tanya. Olivia, Anna, and the third waitress, Ruby, soon returned with drinks and meals for the night. Ruby the meals in front of Karai and Ashley, and Anna placed the jug of the water on the table and walked off. The deathly fish? Asked Olivia. Here, replied Maya. The dragon's meal? Asked Olivia. Here, signaled Gretchen. The girls enjoyed their meal, and 15 minutes later signaled to Olivia. Olivia walked over to the girls, and Tanya asked, Could we have the bill now? Tanya went to the front counter and then said, Girls, meet me outside. They soon left the bar happy. Watching from far on the mountain with binoculars, Xavier mentioned, Boys, kill Maya Whitemore for me, please. All Hellhound began to run for the girls. Ha ha! Go! My pets go! He said with a smile. Tonight was a fun night, said Gretchen. Yes, I agree, replied Harley as Tanya exited the bar. Oh no! The Hellhounds are here, said Ashley. I know them. They are my father's hellhounds. Maya, watch out, screamed Tanya. Tanya pushed Maya out of the way from her father's hellhounds but was savaged, attacked, trying to protect her. Friend, call 333. Hold on, my little sister, Tanya, Tanya, said Gretchen as she watched her sister lie on the side of the road, lifeless. Tanya is gone, Gretchen, said Ashley as all of the girls cried in horror. Chapter 23. Feeling the aftershocks. A few seconds later, Gretchen was distraught. My little sister is dead. Your biological father killed you. Tanya, she said with utter disbelief as she hugged Tanya's lifeless body. Klaus, come on, pick up, said Ashley as she called continuously. No answer, Ashley? Said a concerned Maya. No, he's still not answering, said Ashley frustrated. I think no why Klaus is not picking up, said Maya, who appeared quite gloomy. How do you know that? Said Ashley. Before I moved away from Darkville, I was Klaus's first true girlfriend, said Maya. Why did you break up with Klaus? Said Ashley. Klaus getting flowers from an alien princess named Alice. It was too much for me to deal with, said Maya. Oh, okay, replied Ashley. Hey girls, get into the car right now, said Harley. They all quickly jumped into the car and followed the ambulance to the emergency ward of Darkville General Hospital. Meanwhile, in the Rider Cave, Dylan became excited. I found your evil side, Klaus, he said. Where? Replied Klaus. The CCTV footage says near the beach. And looking at Heroes Academy Island, said Dylan. Great, I'm on it. I'll suit up first, said Klaus. Good luck, buddy, said Dylan. Call Rocket and tell him I need backup on the beach, okay, said Klaus. Will do, replied Dylan as he reached for the phone. Klaus exited the Rider Cave. Meanwhile, on a rooftop in Darkville, Red Bomb Rocket has a robber apprehended. Hi, okay, Hero, taunted the robber as he removed his mask, revealing he was none other than Xavier Knight. Xavier Knight? Said Red Bomb Rocket, shaking his head in disbelief. You got me, Hero! What will you do to me? Joked Xavier. Nothing, said a disillusioned Red Bomb Rocket. Come on! I dare you to kill me, said Xavier with a wry smile. I won't kill you, monster, said Red Bomb Rocket with his arrow drawn. He released his right hand, firing the arrow at Xavier's heart. Get back here, Hero, said Xavier, falling to the ground as he clutched the arrow. Shut up, monster, said Red Bomb Rocket as he left the scene. Meanwhile, on the beach, the killer is sitting back enjoying a rum, looking out towards the ocean. That is a dark island, he said, feeling the malice coming to him. Hey, my evil side, killer, said Klaus indifferently. Klaus Reaper, replied the killer with the same lack of enthusiasm. You are going back into my mind right now, said Klaus. With what? Replied the killer. With my new toy RCEM, said Klaus. Klaus, don't send me back into your mind, please, pleaded the killer. Sorry. Goodbye, my evil side, said Klaus. At this stage, Red Bomb Rocket arrives on the beach out of breath from running. What did I miss? He said. Well, my killer side is now back in my mind, replied Klaus. Klaus, I have bad news for you, said Red Bomb Rocket. Tell me the bad news, Rocket. replied Klaus. Tanya is dead, said Red Bomb Rocket. What? Said Klaus in disbelief. It's true, she gone, said Red Bomb Rocket. Tanya's spirit was taken to Afterlife Island. Oh, my little girl, who killed you? Said a familiar voice from her past. Grandpa Poppy, is that you? Said Tanya. Poppy appeared in front of her. It was my father's hellhounds, said Tanya. There is a way, get back to Land of the Living, said Poppy. How? Replied Tanya with a sense of hope. I don't know, sorry, said Poppy. Oh, okay, said Tanya. Our story continues back to the Land of the Living in the Rider Cave. Klaus, what's wrong? Said Dylan with concern. Tanya is dead, said Klaus with dismay. Dylan smiled as he pressed his fingertips together. We lost a nice teammate tonight, said Mordred. At this stage, Klaus received a call. Okay, Harley. Thanks for letting me know, Harley. I'll pass the message on to the rest of the team. That was Harley, and she said Tanya's funeral is tomorrow, said Klaus. Karai entered into the Rider Cave. Klaus, said Karai with a worried tone. What's wrong, Karai? Replied Klaus. Someone followed me here, said Karai. Who? Declared Klaus angrily. I don't know my new master, said Karai. Intruder, show yourself, or we will kill you, said Klaus. Gretchen comes out from under the desk. Gretchen, said Karai annoyed. Who are you? Said Klaus. I'm Tanya's sister, and I guess you are Klaus Reaper, replied Gretchen. How do you know who I am? Said Klaus, puzzled. Tanya always talked about you, said Gretchen, sobbing. Oh, really? Replied Klaus. Gretchen nodded as she wiped her tears away. The crime bell rang from the CCTV system. Who is it this time? Said Karai. It is, said Dylan gobsmacked. Dylan are okay? Said Klaus. It's my sister, said Dylan with disbelief. What is she doing? Said Klaus. She is stealing some solar light rocks from the sun center, said Dylan. I will stop her, Dylan, said Klaus. Can I come along too? Asked Gretchen. No, stay here with Dylan and Mordred, said Klaus. Oh, but why? Replied Gretchen. Because you're not ready to go out in the field. Stay here, said Klaus assertively. Fine, replied Gretchen in a huff as she folded her arms. Klaus, Red Bomb Rocket, and Karai exit out of the Rider Cave. Back in the Rider Cave, Dylan has made a discovery. What is that? Said Mordred. My computer just found Xavier Knight, said Dylan, worried. You need to tell Klaus now, Dylan, said Mordred. Okay, calling Klaus, said Dylan. You better have a good reason calling me, said Klaus. I found Xavier Knight for you, said Dylan. Where is he? Demanded Klaus. He's at the Waterway Park waiting for someone, I think, replied Dylan. Good job, buddy, said Klaus. Thanks, said Dylan as the call ended. Red Bomb, Rocket, and Karai look at each other. What is it, Klaus? Said Karai. I've got to go now. See you tomorrow, said Klaus as they parted ways. Klaus headed off to the water park, and 30 minutes later he arrived to confront Xavier. Xavier, yelled Klaus. Klaus, you finally here to die, said Xavier. A fight broke out and Xavier pushed Klaus into a water well and he disappeared from sight. As he fell deeper into the well, he realized it was a portal he can travel to different Earths in the multiverse. Chapter 24, Earth 1. As Klaus sinks lower into the water well, he is feeling helpless and seeing all of the different worlds at once, surrounding him. Someone help me! Anyone! Oh, great, it's getting colder by the second. he said, shivering. An unknown being helps Klaus out of the water well and has sent him to another Earth where the characters from Hayden Hansen's book are actors performing roles within the storyline of the book. Each actor will have the name of the character they are playing. We pick up the action from Act 1. Darkville School's set. Today is the last day of school, said Charlie River. Only 5 hours to go, said Andrew Rowling. On the winter's holidays, I will be at my parents' beach house, said Billy Vector. The class bell rang. For our last day of school, we will watch movies and play games, said Mrs. Blake Long. Today just turned into the best school day ever, said Ashley Blue. Act 2. In Klaus's mind. Welcome back, killer, said the human. Don't hurt me, monkey, said the killer. What did you just call me? Said the human. A monkey, said the killer as he acted out the actions of a monkey. You are dead meat, said the human, clenching his fist. From out of nowhere, another version of Klaus appeared, running at an incredible speed that looked like a blur. What are both sides fighting about? Said Speedy Demon Klaus. The killer just got back in my son's mind again, said Ted Reaper. Got back from where? Said Speedy Demon Klaus. Back from the other world, replied Ted Reaper. Oh, okay, Ted, replied Speedy Demon Klaus. Act 3. On set of project called The Shadow. Why are Death Reaper crew members on my set? Said Isaac Martin's actor angrily. Did you got the script before it went to press? Said the director. Nope, replied Isaac Martin's actor. You are listed as a guest star for the opening of Darkville, said the director. Do you have a copy of the script for season 1 finale for me to read? Said Isaac Martin's actor. Yes, Hayden. Did you send a copy of the script? Said the director. I forgot. Send the script to him. Sorry, said Hayden Hansen. Here you go, Isaac, said the director. Thanks, director, said Isaac Martin's actor. While Isaac is reading, we will have a break, said Hayden Hansen. They took a 5-minute break. Welcome back to the opening of Darkville. Before the break, I gave Isaac's actor the script to read through on the break, said Hayden Hansen. I'm already pressed, said Isaac Martin's actor. Where are you going, Isaac? Said Vivian's actress. I'm going to Darkville's opening, replied Isaac Martin's actor. Don't be too long on that opening, okay? Said Vivian's actress. Why? Replied Isaac Martin's actor. This is your planet to Proctor, replied Vivian's actress. I will be right back, my co-stars, said Isaac Martin's actor. Isaac Martin's actor jumps in a car to Darkville's opening. On Afterlife Island. Hello! My poppy told me there is a way back to life. Is that true? Said Tanya English's actor. Yes, said the Soul Taker's actor. I want to be alive once again, said Tanya English's actor. Pick someone you know that is glad. Take your spot here, said the Soul Taker's actor. I pick Mrs. Kate Reaper to take my spot, said Tanya English's actor. Deal, Tanya, and welcome back to life, said the Soul Taker's actor. It's good to be back to life, said Tanya's actor. Act V. Graveyard. All Friends and Famines members are present. Your time came early, my daughter, said Mrs. English's actor. I knew you were the brown cat, and now it is my turn to wear the costume. Ha ha! Cackled Gretchen English's actor. I'm so happy you are dead, said Dylan Jones's actor under his breath. You were one of my best friends, said a teary Harley Argent's actor. I love Klaus more than you did, said Maya Whitemore's actor with a cheeky smile. Went along with your missions and I hated them all, said Ashley Blue's actor. I will see you soon, my daughter, said Xavier Knight's actor. Xavier, angrily called Percy Reed's actor, fists raised, ready for a fight. Yes, Percy, replied Xavier Knight's actor, not in the least bit worried. Where is Klaus? Said Percy Reed's actor. Trapped in a water well, replied Xavier Knight's actor. I will save him, said Percy Reed's actor. How do you plan on doing that? Said Xavier Knight's actor with disbelief. I'm Red Bomb Rocket, said Percy Reed's actor. Klaus only has 2 hours of air left. Tick-tock, said Xavier Knight's actor as he tapped his watch. You're one evil bastard, growled actor Percy Reed's actor with disgust. It is fun being the villain, said Xavier Knight's actors with scheming fingers. Break! Act 6, Rider Cave. Xavier said Klaus is in a water well, said Percy Reed's actor. There are 10 water wells in Darkville, said Dylan Jones's actor. I'm going to help Dylan find out which one Klaus is in, said Karai Manson's actor. Team, it is hero time, exclaimed Percy Reed's actor. Percy Reed's actor put on his Red Bomb Rocket costume. Gretchen, said Red Bomb Rocket's actor. Yes, teammate, said Gretchen English's actor. I think that your sister would want you to take over the role of the brown cat for her, said Red Bomb Rocket's actor. Thanks for your trust in me with her costume, said Gretchen's actor excitedly as she put on the brown cat. Her costume! This feels good, said the brown cat's actor, admiring her new look. The Red Bomb Rocket Karai and the brown cat exit out of the Rider Cave. Act 7. Saving a friend. I'm going to die in this water well, said Klaus's actor, losing hope. Klaus, said the Shadow's actor. Shadow, I'm so glad to see you, said Klaus Reaper's actor, relieved. I'm going to pass a rope down to you, said the Shadow's actor. Okay, let's do this, said Klaus's actor with hope. Shadow passed his rope from his rocket to Klaus. Hold on to the rope, said the Shadow's actor, as he began to pull the rope up to get Klaus out of the water well. Thank you, my friend, said Klaus Reaper's actor. Any time, replied the Shadow's actor. Are you staying for the rest of this project? Said Klaus Reaper's actor. Sorry, I'm not staying for the rest of this episode. I need to get back on set of The Shadow, replied the Shadow's actor. See you later then, said Klaus's actor as the Shadow's actor left the set. The Shadow's rocket takes off and Klaus begins walking to the Rider Cave. Suddenly, a black van screeches to halt. 3 men in black clothing ambush Klaus's actor, capturing him and blindfold him with a black bag over his head. Act 8, Moose HQ. Hey, where am I? Said Klaus Reaper's actor. On a desk in front of him are reports of superheroes. Don't read that report, Klaus, said Detective Rose Hurley's actor. Why? Replied Klaus Reaper's actor. Is a report of the writer that is you, Klaus, said Detective Rose Hurley's actor. Why? Said Klaus Reaper's actor. I'm putting a hero team together, said Detective Rose Hurley's actor. Now I'm the writer you can count me in, said Klaus Reaper's actor. Good. We will see you in a few months' time. Klaus, said Detective Rose Hurley's actor as she walked out of the room. Then an unknown being grabs Klaus out of Earth, one back to the middle of the Omniverse. Who are you? Said Klaus. I'm the Snow Queen of the Omniverse, and the protector of all of Earth's from cosmos threats, said the Snow Queen of the Omniverse. What is the number of my Earth? Said Klaus Reaper. It's Earth number 12, said the Snow Queen of the Omniverse. Oh wow, Earth 12. I'm the first one to travel in the Omniverse, said Klaus. I'm sorry to say you aren't the first one to travel between Earths, said the Snow Queen of the Stow Queen. Omniverse. Who else traveled before me? Asked Klaus. Alice Lobmax, Dorothy Gale traveled in the Omniverse. For Alice, it allowed her go to Wonderland, and Dorothy, it's a way for her go to Oz. Also, Snow White, Hansel and Gretel, Rapunzel, Cinderella, Cynthia, aka the Little Mermaid, Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Rumpelstiltskin, Goldilocks, and Robin Hood from Sherwood Forest, and people who from Street, Petersburg, Missouri, Lilliput, Blefuscu, Sangai, and more can travel between Earths, said the Snow Queen of the Omniverse. Wow, that a lot, laughed Klaus with the realization he wasn't alone. I turned my youngest brother into a beast called Bunyip many years ago. Now I must return you to Earth 12. Bye, Klaus, said the Snow Queen of the Omniverse. The Snow Queen of the Multiverse used her ice powers to put Klaus back on his Earth. Finally, I'm home, said Klaus with relief. That's it, the end of Klaus Reaper's origin story before he came to be the hero called Death Reaper to the people of Darkville. Epilogue. In a dark alleyway, Team Rider is doing their job. The brown cat and red bomb rocket punching thugs with the death bike roaring into the alleyway. Who are you? Said the thug. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm Death Reaper, said Death Reaper. Meanwhile, on Earth 8, Princess Marion Lionheart is sitting front of her campfire. That's another year being trapped on this island, said Princess Marion Lionheart. Princess Marion Lionheart is watching the Loch Ness Monster with her werewolf named Kate Cobb. Death Reaper will return.
I'm Toga, Himiko Toga. This is a quick blood reminder that if you want to see more videos, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe and click that notification bell so that way you can get notified whenever there's a new upload. Now, where's my sweet hot Deku at?